Hello, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, viewers, wherever you are at this time around the world. We are back on the second leg of this 90 minutes Africa, and we are going to continue from the discussion of how Mr. Kayode Ogundamisi, who was eloquently he spoke eloquently this afternoon on the Nigerian question and what next? What does Osun elections means to us, and what is the way forward from that point? He was very, very eloquent. I enjoyed listening to him, and yeah, there are some views he canvassed which I don't agree with, especially that of the IPOB agitation and how IPOB had gone from now to where it were. Some of them, I believe, are government propaganda, but that is his view. He is entitled by any means, all right to have it. And I appreciate his honesty, his ability to express what he feels, he believes in, and hold on to that. I mean, I must have to say here, as a writer, as a producer, as a documentary producer, as you have to start from somewhere and you hold your view. The view you hold may not be popular, and so sometimes, yeah, those you conclude your writing, you conclude your film, you conclude your documentary based on what you believe is the outcome of whatever research you are doing, and that's why you have the right. And I can disagree with you, and I can also criticize it if I so desire. But this evening was, and we are going to do it in a style. First and foremost, we're going to divide this discussion into two segments. The first few minutes will be for discussing what we feel and the ideas he has canvassed. And then we'll look at the current situation in Nigeria, what is happening, and what we expect. Therefore, let the party begin. Yes, so Nigerians and indeed people around the world who are interested in African affairs, we are here. My name is KJ. I'm sitting in on behalf of 90 Minutes Africa team. And yes, votes have been cast and the people of Osun have spoken. Politicians have taken note of the development in Osun and also have begun to interpret it in different forms, different understanding, different messages. What does it mean for them going forward? And what is the interest of their party? How have they been able to present themselves in the election? And I agree with those who are of the opinion that it's not every election you participate in. You participate in what you think you can win. If you don't feel you have enough grounds in Osun, you must not file a candidate. Especially, you know, some people sometimes speak. They don't know the requirement of the Constitution of Nigeria before you can participate in an election. If you are a party, a national party, for you to be called a national party, you must have representation in all the states of the federation. And in all the states of federation, you must have a secretariat in the state capital. And then in every local government, that is 774 local government, you must be represented. And aside that, you have to have at least one staff, a desk and a typewriter, now computer, in that office where you'll be ably represented in each of the local government headquarters of the federation. If you count that alone, it runs into millions and billions of naira. Consequently, it's not for those who have not been able to amass wealth one way or another. In Nigeria, we have come to realize there are two ways of making money: those who make their money through business, who work earnestly, and those ones who crook their way into government, and the government purse becomes their purse. But that's not why we're here today. We are here today to examine what has happened in Osun and how Mr. Kayode has been able to, interpret for us what went on. And beyond the winners and the losers, beyond parties, colors, campaign promises, political strategies, and victory speeches, there are millions of Nigerians who are still concerned about what they will eat tomorrow. It's not even about whether life will go on for them, but how to feed, how to get 1 square meal, because before now we used to have 3 square meal, but now it's become 1 square meal that we look for. How do we fix an economy that continues to put pressure on the ordinary people? The ordinary citizens of Nigeria are the ones carrying the heavy burden that these governments have put on their shoulder. How do we create jobs and opportunities for our young people that are teemingly everywhere? And I will show you what does that lack of job have created for our people. They've now begun to destroy government property just to find a way to be able to eat. In fact, some of them, the effort they put in destroying it is even much more than the money they're going to make from whatever they are looking for from destroying that. How do we make education and healthcare and security more accessible? How do we secure our people? And of course, we'll have one or two things we're going to talk about today concerning security of Nigerians and the Nigerian people. And perhaps most importantly, when will politicians begin to translate into, better better quality of life for the Nigerian people? And I say Nigerian people because charity begins at home. We can't begin to talk about Africa when even those in Nigeria are not able to be sustained adequately. But you see, the irony of it all is that when you see our politicians in their agbada, some of which is about the salary I receive for a whole year, okay, and in the exotic cars they drive, you begin to wonder, are these people really the representatives of Nigerians, where more than half of the population are living in abject poverty? It is appalling. It is ludicrous to think that people can be comfortable in those luxury cars and not be bothered about their own people. I don't know. I don't know how people have that kind of heart. I don't know how you sit in an Escalade with bulletproof and maybe 5 more Escalade empty following you, and then people are hungry. Something must be definitely wrong with the mindset of a Nigerian politician. So what exactly do the people of Osun, what have their votes translated, or what is it interpreting to? What can the politician who still have their head on their shoulder interpret what the people of Osun have done? Is it a fluke? Is it that they just wanted to play the Nigerian people to make us believe that we still have the power? Or is it that the people stood against the powers that be and said, this is enough? Can the Nigerian people learn any lesson from what has been done in Osun? Is there any takeaway from what has been done? Is it that the people of Osun rejected the political party and their style of trying to dominate and make sure that their candidates win? So how do we interpret what has gone on in Osun, and what are the lessons to be taken away from that? Very important for all of us to look at it and see. And then as we look ahead, next battleground, which is going to be the real thing, what is there for the Nigerian people? What should we expect? What are the ways to reject candidates we totally disagree with? Are the Nigerian people ready to repeat what went on in Osun? Or are they going to just say, "Ke sera sera, what will be will be"? Let them just go. A time when God go deal with them. Hey, let me tell you something. Wake up, Nigeria, smell the coffee. God ain't coming, man. God is not coming to deal with anybody if you don't wake up. You see, the children of Israel took God's advice and said didn't take God's advice, said to take their own style, and they spent 40 years in the wilderness, and all of that generation died off, and God moved on with the next generation. I tell you the truth, if we keep quiet, if we go to bed, if we say "Ke sera sera," God will do it. We're all going to give way, and the world and Nigeria God will move the next generation who are ready to listen. There's a time that you have the Bible on your right hand, and then you have the sword on the left. Maybe perhaps the lesson that I think we take away from Osun is that there's nothing as powerful as people's might. When the people stand, when the people come out, if you come out in hundreds, they will be able to overpower you. If you come out in thousands, they'll be able to overpower you. But when you come out in your millions, no force on earth can stop you. No force on earth can stop you. And that's what I think is one of the lessons for me from the Osun people. So tonight, we're going to again revisit those, and then the question that Mr. Kayode has read for us. How do we see it, and how do we go from there? And on that faithful note, I say, let the party begin.
Being proposed is not a perfect one. I mean, you're seeking death penalty for people based on fake news. Meanwhile, you have legislators that are having millions of dollars and corrupt people, and we don't have death penalty for corrupt people. But we must accept the fact that there must be some sort of regulation. There are existing laws in our countries that needs to be strengthened, and the lawmakers must consult with stakeholders. It's not just social media bill and hate speech. NGOs, non-governmental organizations that are collecting billions of naira and dollars from foreign companies, and they are not regulated. Nobody sees their account. What lawmakers need to do is to engage with these stakeholders and say, look, we need to self-regulate. There's no point millions of dollars going into the northeastern part of Nigeria, or people collecting money and saying they want to help people in the villages, and they end up buying properties and using the blood of our people for their own self-aggrandizement. So there's a need for regulation, but the middle ground is there must be a cooperation and a consultation between the citizen and the regulators. You cannot sit in as a lawmakers and you're collecting billions and people are stealing and you don't regulate yourself. You're not accountable to the people, and you expect people to actually appreciate laws that you want them to obey. So there's a need for self-regulation.
By all means necessary, you must have electricity, and you will not pay for estimated bill anymore. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me. That's the truth. Unless I give you adequate reasons why I couldn't deliver.
You're seeking
You see the road that these young boys are destroying were even those roads that was built by Julius Berger many years ago that have stood the test of time. They are now destroying it because they are looking for the iron under the road to go and sell, to be able to eat. And somebody is telling you that you must, by any means necessary, will give you electricity. And up to now, I've not seen that electricity. But people are still yearning, eager, fighting to vote back the same people who have impoverished people so much that they have to do this in order to be able to survive. The question I ask, are they still worthy of being elected, re-elected again? That's the question that you and I are going to discuss. I don't have my own opinion. I'm just laying out our discussion points. But then, even as we go into this, certain people have gone ahead and taken a research, have paid money to do a research on Nigeria and to know the outcome. Is Nigeria able to work or not able to work? And from all indications and the research and all that, in a world where people deal with data, unlike our own, where we do by head count and assumption, Nigeria is about. This young man took his time and put his whole credibility on the line, saying, if this works, Let's listen to him.
Almost. Let them withdraw it. I will tear my document. I will tear my certificate. Class honors. Let them withdraw it. I will tear my document. I will tear my certificate if Nigeria works, because it will prove they went home to school.
Are you telling us that you've written? Is this evidence that Nigeria is not going to work?
This is my thesis, documented, supervised by professors. This is a research that took me 4 solid years to research about Nigeria and the solution for Nigeria. And the solution is, ladies and gentlemen, we can walk. There is no amount of prayer, no amount of government, no amount. We are in a diplomatic hostage.
Diplomatic hostage.
Okay, so this is 55 pages document in total.
The document is all about Nigeria can never work. The only man that documented 49 pages, proving with an evidence written down that Nigeria can never work.
Okay, that's one man that have come to speak. We don't know the other ones who are yet to speak about the workability of Nigeria. But you know, the funny thing is that being a young debater in secondary school, some of what we are witnessing today, we have debated on it. We went to debates with other schools. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here, panel debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to propose the motion which said that Nigeria is going to work by the year 2000. Everything is going to work by the year 2000. But we did all that debate. Now we are the year 2022, 2026, and OTO, you know, I mean, things have not, you know. So this is where the contradiction that this young man was trying to put forward, because I haven't looked at the trajectory or the trajectory at where Nigeria is heading. The undercurrent that Nigeria is suffering is way too much for it to bring us to the El Dorado, the place of our desire. The undercurrent that we are going through, you will not believe it, but this is what I just picked up, you know, randomly in the internet, and I'll show you why I think that young man is so precise and concise, and indeed saying that this is not going to work as long as we are looking at the things the way we're looking at it now and following the way we're following it. We aren't going anywhere. Now, this is a discussion I want you to listen to.
This same Olori Bruku, they told Nnamdi Azikiwe that there should be a secession clause in the Nigerian constitution. Olori Bruku Ogba, because you think you can rule everybody in this country. God will punish you. Now my forefathers, now them fuck up now. That dealing that the Northerners dealt with you. If only my forefathers had stood up and deal with you people together with it. Anything. Let your generation not even, they should not even exist to tell you the story. They should kill all your elders and leave the children alone. The Nigeria should change them. They should erase your entire generation. They left you people. You now grow up here. They told you useless stories. You come up here and come and be telling us you want presidency. Wagba, come and take it. God will punish you. If you don't know your history, you better go and read. You people, you are supposed to be your 2 hands like this on your eyes and be covering your face all over the place. You still have the mind to open a space and be saying Igbophobia. You started a war that you could not finish because you think you want to rule everybody. The Biafra you wanted, you could have gotten it in peace if only your Nnamdi Azikiwe, that useless man, if only he had agreed to cessation clause. You've seen all the good things in Yoruba land. You've seen all the good things in the north. You think you want to rule everybody. Now when no guesses won't rule the whole Nigeria. You could have gotten that Biafra in peace, if only. You were say, no, we don't want a cessation clause, because you think you will use your foolish, fraudulent brain to rule everybody. I am about then. Inside this Nigeria. All those history that some of us know that we are keeping quiet, that okay, let the country just be in peace. You think you want to come here now and be doing social engineering? Don't worry. All our youth that don't know the history, we will teach them. Everything Awolowo wrote in his book, we're already reading it. Everybody will know about it. You see that Victor Banjo letter that is Ojukwu letter that is spreading up and down. That is just the beginning, my brother. I'm a weapon fashioned against you. You don't know anything. Olori Bruku. You sit down here. As a Nigerian, not even a Yoruba person, you think I will sit down in my right?
Okay. So you see that the contradictions that this young man talked about earlier is there's a lot of grounds to hold his research very highly. And you see, in a developed world, how people think that young man will have been called and say, let us see what you have, and people will be set up to examine what he has written. That's how people who are interested in building a nation work. It's not that they look for how to punish you for what you have done. But you see, listening to the last speaker, you wonder whether this person is living in 2026, because at this point you are saying that it would have been better if you have wiped all of us out. Those of us who were born after the war, during the war, by now will not even be available. That means we will have all gone, because that's what she's saying. They will have, which was the original plan in any case. So let's not, gloss over it. That was the original plan. Unfortunately, God passed man. So whether that was done in 1966, and now this is 2026, and a person of Nigerian descent, or from Yoruba, ethnic stock, is speaking this way, tells you what this individual is telling her children. And so where is going to be that national cohesion? And you see, these people do not speak this way about the people who have taken their land and installed emirs. If anybody goes around Nigeria, and I'm talking now, being personal about this, and sees where there's an Igbo man as an emir ruling those localities, I will forfeit my Igbo-ness. If you go to any part of Nigeria and you go, there's an indigenous tribe there that's not Igbo, and there's an Igbo man as the Oba or the Emir or the chief ruling those places, in fact, let me not even limit it to Nigeria, the whole world. If you go around the whole world, there's a community you can find where an Igbo man went there, harnessed the people, overtook the people, became their leader, and then installed himself as Oba, or installed himself as the Emir. Then I think I will give up my Igbo-ness. That's a challenge open to, if you know that lady. But even as we go on this trajectory, let's listen to other people and what other people have to say in this same issue that we're talking about. And so, if this is how divided the nation is, how then do we forge forward? Let's listen.
Encounter issues that are quite unfortunate. Not that our people brought this upon themselves, but these are carelessness from the security agencies. And we must say this so that the whole world will know. Because if you refuse to say the truth, you die. If you say the truth, you also die. And I am ever ready to tell the whole world the actual truth. The last time we met in Jakarta, we buried our brother who was shot by the security agencies. As if that is not even enough. Today we are here to bury two brothers as well that were shot in their homes by the illegal act of the security agencies, most especially the soldiers. They came and killed them in their own homes. The soldiers destroy their buildings. They did it on 1st May, where a pastorium in Sabongari here was destroyed. 8 buildings were brought down by the same soldiers. I am saying this so that the international community will know what the soldiers are doing in Mangu local government. I am saying this so that human rights organization will also know what the illegal act being committed by the soldiers in Mangu local government. We are not troublesome people. It is only 2 groups of people that are fighting the Mogul people. The Fulani are fighting us. The soldiers are also fighting us. The Mogul man is known for peace. Not only the Mogul man, but the entire natives of Plateau State. Troubles here in Mangu, troubles there in Bokos, Bassa, name them. The Fulani are not only troubling the Mogul people, the whole world know that the entire nation, Nigeria, the Fulani are troubling us. And I'll use this singular opportunity to call on government, most especially the president, to give the governors the backing to put state police, because they are cumbersome with our terrain. They are the only people who can protect us when we have state police on ground. We are so tired with the activities of the soldiers, and we are going to be tired with it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So we are calling on the government to act accordingly. Let them protect lives and properties. Because if they fail to protect lives and properties, who are they going to govern? So on a lighter note, I am bringing condolences to the entire family that was affected. Not only the family alone, but the entire nation. I also thank Masari Kim and the Biramute movement for standing by us to ensure that we bring this to the notice of the Human Rights Commission.
Okay. So the next time that happens that the government will come and say, we will leave no stone unturned. We must get to the end of this. The stones have been turning since I was in secondary school. They've been leaving no stone unturned. And I'm now a father. I have children. You know, they're still turning stones. They're not yet seen how to solve this problem. But you see, even let's just, let's just go in that direction a bit. Let's listen to another brother.
dabbobi ya sake shigo mana unguwar na ana ɗiban mana mutane yanzu wannan jami'in idan ya fito aiki kullum ya fito aiki baya komawa cikin gidan shi sai da asuba saboda ya tsare mutane amma mu yanzu an zo an kashe mana shi gwamnati ta yi burin da mu kaman ba ta san muna yi ba me ake so da mu wani irin zalunci ne wannan wata gwamnati muka zaba me gwamnati take so da mu wallahi tallahi muna kira ga gwamnati Ubasani ya duba wannan al'amari ba mu ji daɗi ba ba mu da muke nan gurban gaba ɗaya Millennium City menene yayi mana tun da muka zaɓe shi mun tashi da kanmu mun je mun samu jami'an tsaro mun masa bayani sun ce abin ya fi karfin su suka ɗauki tocila guda 10 suka bamu da oba guda 3 suka ce mu je mu yi ta kanmu to abinda ya tayar mana da hankali a cikin wannan issue din yanzu a Kaduna State ba inda ya rage ana satan mutane kamar Millennium City tun daga Indomie zuwa Kiki kuma APC nan ita muka yi in gwamnati bata manta ba abin da ya samu gwamnatin baya rashin sauraron mutane da kulawa da al'amuransu yanzu gashi ta samu kanta cikin wani hali
to sai mu ce inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un yanzu wannan mutum din da suka fara magana mutane ne wanda suke zaune a unguwar Kyauta da ke nan Millennium City Kaduna inda suke bayyana cewa ana yawan garkuwa da mutane yanzu ma ya wuce garkuwa da mutane har ya kai da dabbobi har ya kai yanzu ina wasu security da ke wato taya su tsaro a unguwar civilian JTF su ma abin ya fara shafar su.
So you can see, even the people of Kaduna State is not spared. A place called the Millennium City. They're not spared. Nobody can sleep. You can see that the whole city seems to be empty because, terrorists have taken over the place. The other day, somebody called me and said, look, we have finished selling all our land. And the same person is from Kaduna State. Nothing to sell anymore. So people are now moving away. Because if they catch you, you have to look for who to bail you. Is that a country that still have a government? Is that a country that still have a government that this is going on? Have the military, have the air force, have the police? This same military that's always in the every week they go to one part of the east and say we have found a new IPOB ESN camp. We have detonated will be this whatever they say, and they look for some tag flag and put their guns. These same people who's always everywhere in the east are not able to trace these people. You can see the Millennium City is quite open. They can't find the people that are terrorizing the Nigerian citizens in Kaduna State. And do we think we're making progress? I don't think so. But even at that, just in case you still don't get convinced that we're making any progress, here is a man who had started a controversy last 2 weeks, and this is the man's stand in a nation that is secular, that has no particular religion. Just for instance, if the Christians also say we are much more than the Muslims, and it is our will that must be done. What is the condemnation? Oh, is it that my enemies from the village?
Ba, in ba san rai ba, ya zan na yi kira musamman ma a cikin musulmi. In ce, jama'ar musulmi, ni halin nan da muke ciki a Najeriya na din farowar zaben siyasa a jagwalgwalan tsarin can na demokradiyya da turawan mulkin mallaka suka tilasta mana, amma sun ce ƙuri'ar da mutane suka fi yawa to a nan jagoranci yake. Na ce ta kwana gidan sauƙi, mai zuwa sama in ya taka faifai. Sai na ce to ni ranar zaɓe in Allah ya yarda, Muslim to siyasar da ta yarda da wannan, siyasar da ta yarda da wannan.
Okay, so you have heard it. That is his position, and that's the position of most Muslims. I will not say all. So if the Christians also say Christian ticket, what will happen? Don't we have the ability to do that? And I want to tell you, the truth about Nigeria. Unfortunately, Nigerians don't know. Let us move on. And to the final video that we'll have of bringing, I see Stay Humble behind. This man puts it in a very clear way for everybody, whether you still believe what I've said or not. Let him be the one to say it to you.
Anytime a man begins to give you a gift he cannot give his son or his daughter, please don't accept that gift. Why am I saying it? During campaign, during election, they go along with talks. During inauguration, they move along with their family. Who is fooling who? That is my message to our youth. During campaign, they move with the talks. But during inauguration, you see them move with their family. It is a message. Any moment, anybody, no matter the position he is occupying, begins to give you a gift he cannot give his son or his daughter, reject that gift.
Okay, let's take these two to the traditional rulers, right? Because
all right,
of the influence.
All right. Anytime you get a gift, the person cannot give their own children, you should be careful to collect that gift. You should reject it, as a matter of fact. You're welcome. Stay humble. You have taken a while to try to dissect what went down. And yeah, you were here earlier on. And so you have seen, some of the videos I played and some of the, what we are going to discuss. But let's go from the beginning. What do you make of Mr. Kayode's assertion this afternoon?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, it's already morning here in the UK. So, yeah, I've been waiting for you to start because I left.
Sorry, I had to take my son somewhere and just come in.
Okay. Yeah, because I left at some point when it was clear that I would not have the time to to give a follow-up, or the opportunity to give a follow-up remark. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, sorry, stay humble. Let me just say this upfront. My network is misbehaving. So if I go off, please continue, and it will come back. Yeah, by next week, before next week, by the grace of God, I will have changed network. It's really misbehaving. All right, go ahead. Welcome, CM.
So I thought initially there was Frederick one before that would come. I prepared some questions for him, some bullets. I don't know what happened, and he didn't show up. I was a bit surprised to see Kayode Ogundamisi. It's a name that is quite familiar to most people following what's happening in Nigeria. I think he's a popular journalist. He's a seasoned journalist, I would say. He's been around for some time. And he did mention that he did go to prison at some point due to his fight for the restoration of democracy.
Yes.
So yeah, I think in terms of journalism, I think he has paid his dues. He's a respected guy, and he's experienced as well. He's seen a lot of things. I think maybe because of what he's passed through, because sometimes, when people start radically, when they're younger, with time, with all the suppression and challenges and trials and what have you, they tend to be a bit modest. They tend to moderate some of their actions, some of their thoughts. They tend to give up, give this kind of despondent demeanor. That nothing can be done, because a lot of things he said about Nigeria, even when Dr. Damages posed some questions to him. What if Sokoto State, that region, they say, oh, we want to leave Nigeria. Can anybody actually stop them? He didn't really have an answer to that because he didn't think about that. And this is what happens to people who have a very narrow view, a very myopic view of Nigeria, people who have been given the script to read. So you hear things from, I don't know whether it's a generational thing. You hear things from them like, well, it cannot be divided. They have stock phrases. They have stock phrases like, it can never be divided. If it divides, people from so and so person will kill themselves. Those are some of the stock phrases, as if, human beings have issues, have conflict. Conflict is part of human existence. And that's why in schools like UNN, those days, University of Nigeria introduced conflict and peace and conflict studies. We did it as GS 201, peace and conflict. UNN was the first school to introduce it in their general studies. GSP 201, peace and conflict studies, very important. So peace and conflict is part of human existence. Even in this country, people have conflict. Even between the English people, they still have people that say, oh, they are from the north, people that say that they are from the Midlands, people that say they are from the south. They have different accents. Sometimes the English people will say, in a way, with the Welsh people, they are not this and that. But all those conflicts exist, but that doesn't mean that they will not still pursue the bigger agenda together. So irrespective of the fact, if you go to Igbo land, even if you go to the kindred, you go to families, there are still conflicts. Or would you now say, oh, because there are conflicts, and Abia man saying that and Enugu man is this or that? It's just part of life. It's normal. It's normal in every country, really. Go to France, go to Germany, go to Ghana. It's normal for people to say, oh, this person from different distance, they do this, they do that. I've never seen Igbo people. I've not really seen Igbo people killing themselves or, the way people say, oh, these people will kill them. And when they want to cite examples, they use South Sudan, but when they want to justify their looting, they use America. Why didn't he use Yugoslavia that got balkanized? Why didn't he use Korea? Why didn't he use Singapore, Malaysia, stuff? He used South Sudan. There are other African countries that got, that they divided even before independence, Rhodesia and the rest of them. And, that a country is not doing well after it's not really a result of that division. If there are like inherent factors before then that would predispose them to being economically backward and all this stuff, those things will still remain. So I thought that he was still stuck. And one thing about them, the danger of their of that primitive thought process is that you don't recognize the fact that the world has changed. The world has changed. People think differently. If you go to the street and meet a Gen Z person and you're telling the person that Nigeria can never do this, it'll just be laughing at you, say, what are you saying? Because it doesn't make sense. You can't convince them. Things have changed. There were things that they say, oh, never, never. Did they ever know that there will be a time when young people will troop out on the streets and protest for days? The NSAS protest. Did they ever know that there will be a time when their whole anti so and so people will never be this, so and so people will never be that, will be shattered completely by the young people who trooped out in millions without being paid nothing? So, his submissions did not have any standing. He didn't have any leg to stand on. Some of those old archaic phrases and insinuations and narratives. And unfortunately, one of the guys that came up in the panel, he started ventilating on something. He started blaming the people. He said it's because of the mentality of the people, that the people are the ones destroying the society. But the most important thing is that if you have the people look up to their leaders, and he cited the example of people destroying things. Well, Peter Obi was there 8 years in Anambra, and he did a lot of things. People did not destroy things in the society because they saw in him a man who was an example. We saw how things got with even your richest man in Africa, how they exposed this whatever, a girl in America and all those things. Nobody has ever come out to say that Peter Obi did this or that or that. And this is a politician that is 60-something years now. No lady has come out to say this or that or that. You see? So when people look up to people, if you have someone who is living by example, and then you see what he's doing, you will not have that temerity to go and destroy things. Look at what Alex Oti is doing in Abia State. Are people destroying things? No. Or if you go, if you see a man that came in, killed a lot of people, rigged the election, came into power, misappropriating funds here and there, everybody thinks it's business as usual, and you see people misbehaving. So people are very quick to blame people. But I think that even young people in this country, you need to give them kudos, because what they are going through is what people, in some countries, if people go through 10% of that, the country will burn. And these guys are still comported, and these guys are still hopeful that one day things will change. So if you come and start blaming the victim, I don't think that's the right approach. So I think he failed it. That was what I was going to say to him, that, look, you failed it in this aspect. And finally, yeah, because I know that August CM is here. And finally, this other gentleman came up, Jide. Some people, better if you are a fan of Bat, say that you're a fan of Bat. just keep on telling us that all these people are the same people. All these people are the same. That Peter, how is Peter Obi the same with them? Because Peter Obi represents the opposite of everything that Tinubu represents. This is a man that we know. You know how he lives, you know his simplicity, and this is how he's been living all his life. He's never been involved he was governor of a state for 8 years. And they said if you find anywhere in the books, anywhere that I took a dime, I will stop campaigning. And people have searched the book, searched everything, and they couldn't see anything. How are you saying that he's the same? And that was the same position our guest took, which, of course, someone asked him, if you supported a Buhari, who everybody knew before he even was a dullard, he a lot of questionable things, that he did. He was an extremist, etc. And you supported him. Why are you not bold, confident to support Peter Obi if you don't have an agenda? So you see that some of these people, they are working for, because I asked him, he supported Buhari, and Buhari came to power. And when Buhari came to power, after some months, he started criticizing Buhari. Buhari's performance was abysmal. And then he still was named in Buhari's campaign council for the next election. So where is your integrity? Where is his integrity? Where are his principles? So these are the kind of people. And then you see, they don't understand the times that we are in. This period is the time that when you come up in this kind of forum, people don't listen to what you say again. What is he going to say again that we've not heard? People look at your record, your history, and that's what they interrogate. And I looked, if I say, oh, a guest is coming, I look at the person's history. As if you see a lot of questionable things, how would you trust what the person is saying?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. In fact, long time ago, I agree with what you said. Long time ago, I dismissed those who come and say, Igbo land, people practice Osu, this thing, you practice Osu, so you're even discriminating among yourself. My dear brothers and sisters, I am here, my cousin is married from where you went to school, a UNN, and Suka lady who is very nice. We don't have any problem with her. So, in fact, when the time for his marriage came, some of our elders, he was saying about that. My uncle told them, please go and sit down. Which one you also? We don't know those ones. Anyway, I'm just simply to say this. In every tribe in Nigeria, including the Yoruba tribe, they have particular people they discriminate against. Someone was telling me about a particular set of Egba people don't marry a particular set. And the woman was beating her chest. It's even on the internet, beating her chest and saying, never in her lifetime will her children marry from so and so part of Yoruba land. Okay. I lived in Benue for so long. The Tiv people have a set. One part of Tiv is called the Here people. The Boko people don't believe the Here people are real Tiv people. All because their own Tiv have a bit of a slang to it. But they are all Tiv. If you are from Idoma side, the Idomas don't believe the Igede, and the Tolu people they are the real Idomas. The people to go think they are the real thing, the real big deal. Okay? Every one of us, it depends on where you come from. The Yala people in Ogoja, in Cross River, don't think that the other one? They are the same with them. They tell like Yala people only came there. The Yala people are Idoma people. They should be in Benue State because it was salt that caused them to fight. So these are certain histories that are there, and it's meaningless. And when you say because we're intermarried, are we not marrying Americans? Are we not marrying English? Are we not marrying Russians? Are we not? Is there any part of this world that people are not intermingled? Okay, the Yoruba people in Nigeria and the ones in Benin Republic, are they not marrying? Does it stop Benin from being a different country and Yoruba and the ones in Lagos being a different country? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, these arguments are put up because they don't want us to sit down and have a national discourse on these issues, And someone is saying I will wish to invite the guy. What's his name now? Oga 11442. Please, the link is, I've saved the link. Come and tell us why what I've just said is propaganda, so we can have a robust discussion. We're only talking, we're not fighting, and I don't like to throw punches to somebody I'm not seeing. All right, CM, you're welcome. It's good to see you, and you have heard the discussion with our brother Kayode, but also you can intervene in any of what the things I've thrown on the table, so that we all can have a very useful discussion.
Okay, thank you, KJ. Good evening. Well, the thing is,
Good evening.
I didn't listen to the guest Kayode Ogundamisi. I know he's been here once in the past, but I know from the snipers of what I heard, what he said, and the questions. Well, what he expressed was his own opinion. He said, guess you ask him, he will answer you to the best of his knowledge or the way he want to answer it. But what remains is what we know is what we know. At this point, I always like to quote a former U.S. Defense Secretary, Donald Rumsfeld. He said, there are no knowns. What we know, that we know. Then there are known unknowns. What we do not know, that we know. Then there are unknown unknowns. What we do not know and we do not know. So you see all these things. You can't just, anybody can answer questions the way they like, but the thing remains. To be honest with you, KJ, I was even saying maybe you want to bring up this burning issue on Willings Commission.
Oh yeah, no. Willings Commission is not something I want to join with anything. We will discuss it. Is a 3 hour. I even told Rudolph about that today. So Willings Commission, the Aburi Commission, Aburi report. We are going to discuss it as a full program. We're not going to divert into anything because we cannot. People need to know what is there and know that we are not actually moving forward with Nigeria, because if they have taken that, the lady that was insulting the Igbos, if their forefathers have been clever to go with Aburi Accord, now Nigeria would have been a heaven for everybody, a destination in Africa, because we are now going back to Aburi report. We're now going back to that accord where there's a state police, where there is each state mind their own resources. So what is the big deal? What was the reason for the war? Anyway, that's something we'll discuss.
KJ, this is my contribution to that. I'm not discussing the thing, but let me be to bring it in. Aburi Accord and Willings Commission report should not be a topic of discussion at the same time. You should separate them. Willings Commission was 1957, then ended in 1958, if I'm not mistaken. So it was before independence. That is Willings Commission report. As at then, there was no coup. There was nothing. Nigeria is just looking forward to flag independence to enjoy. And as at then, oil in Oloibiri, 1956, was just discovery. Hasn't been, there was nothing like prospecting oil, or Nigeria still dependent on granite for the north, hide and skin, cocoa for the west, plywood and all the rest, and then because there was no Midwestern region before 1960, then East was still depending on oil palm produce and whatever you have. So if there is a mention of oil, it's just that, there we discovered oil. The place is as good as no drilling, nothing, because that was oil was 1956, but Willings Commission came up in 1957. I think the communique was signed 1958, but whatever it is worth, it is before 1960. That's all. Then Aburi report, Aburi Accord was 1960. Aburi Accord was 1967, January 5th and 6th, or 4th and 5th. So there are different things. So it's like more than a 10-year gap. So they should be discussed separately. That's one. Then my other contribution is put up a flyer inviting whoever wants. We can send, they can go and download Willings Commission report and read it and study it. It's like a thesis. So we can come and discuss it. Because this is not a case of conjecture. Somebody will come and do, It's like if you have the Bible, you say the call of Levi is in St. Luke's Gospel chapter this. Everybody will open that chapter and then you see you reading it and interpreting it. If I disagree, I disagree. Because do you know why I'm particular about that? Any day the truth about Nigeria is discussed, that is the day Nigeria will stop to exist the way it is. Any day there's some people are courageous to say this is it, and there are a lot. Go to the in the written annals of Nigerian history. There are so many milestones. Any day we say this is it, Nigeria will stop to exist. So that's why when people say Nigeria is a fraud, it is true. When they say Nigeria is a living fraud, it is true. Because if you read that Willings Commission report, you see, sometimes it is true you both joined us together, but then I still remember, because I'm in England, I respect the English people for one thing. If they make a law to guide them, and they agree on it, nobody dare go against it. If you like, be the prime minister, you will go in for it. If you like, I think maybe if the person they mind, the royal family to some extent, if at all, you will go in for it. That is their system. And why, again, when I look at them, I said, look, the English people, no. They so much believe in what they call a commission of inquiry. Before something happened, they put inquiry. Everything inquiry. They so much believe in it. So it is that Willings Commission, because that Willings Commission afforded every party, everybody, come and present your case. And it was very robust. And come and see the way it was trashed by them. They were even advocating for so many things. And those things Nigerians are, because these are what should have brought, this idea. Because if they have followed Willings Commission, everything, when I look at it, I shake my head. Nigeria is a fraud. When you go through Willings Commission, you find that Nigeria is a fraud. We are just making noise. All these things, this thing there here, this thing there here. You go and see it. Everything was clear. Was it this man, I think it's Mark Twain, said, if you see land, if you want to buy land, buy, because it is not made every day. There is no more land being made everywhere. You don't make land every day. If you say this is your father's compound, 1 million years to come, is still there. You can't, you might add to it, but it's still there. The geographical location of Enugu is still where it is geographically till today, and it will continue to be that. So you see, these are some of the things that I feel that should, the Nigeria, you look back. That's why the English people are making progress. Because at any point in time, they look back in their history and say during the time they made this mistake, they correct it now. That's why they are evolving. But in our own case, we tend to sweep things under the carpet and feel that, oh, no, don't touch it. We are together. All this, we're just wasting our time. It's just pure waste of time. Oh, no, don't touch it. Do you know that the Conference of Ethno-Linguistic Nationalities just took place in Nigeria, in which they invited people, not based on state, but based on ethnic nationality, your language. That is to say, Igbira man from Kogi, come as Igbira, don't come as Kogi State. Igala in Kogi, come as Igala, don't come as Kogi State. Okun people in Kogi, if you want, come as Okun. If you go to Delta, we want to hear Ichekiri, come and don't say Delta. Isoko, come as Isoko, don't come as Delta. Urobo, come as Urobo, don't come as Delta. Come on your own. Ijo, come on your own, don't come as Delta anything. Ndi Igbo, come as Ndi Igbo. Don't come as I'm from Anambra, I'm representing Southeast. No. Come as Igbo. Some people didn't show up. So what are we talking about? Are you afraid? Yorubas came as Yoruba. They are not cop. They say Yoruba. They came as their own. So we called. Even then, I started hearing Tangale in Bauchi. Everybody. So come on your own. Why are they afraid? Why? You see, this is to tell you that, you see, in Nigeria, when you continue to sweep a problem under the carpet, it will remain with you. It won't get solved. Why not come as the way you were created? Come and lay your claim to your ancestry and say, this is it. Some people didn't turn up, and some people find it offensive. Why should you find it offensive? Why must anybody telling you to forget what makes you you? It's not your friend. Come and present it. That's why they have United Nations. You will see a country like India, the most populous country in the world, more 1.4 something billion people. You will see a tiny country. Do you know I met somebody from a place called Bermuda. You know, when he said Bermuda, I said, where? He said, don't you hear Bermuda Triangle? I said, yes, I've heard it. He said, it's a country, Bermuda. I said, how big is it? He told me from Durham to Newcastle. For those living in the UK, go and Google from Durham city to these are cities in the northeast, at most maybe 30 miles. 30 miles. Say it's a country under UN, under United Nations. So Singapore, that we hear, Lee Kuan Yew, do you know that I didn't know that Singapore was 1/4 of Lagos State landmass?
I didn't know that.
About 1/4. Do you know the population of Singapore? I was thinking it, because they are Asian countries, should be up to 100, or you know, they're always 100 million, Pakistan and India, you know. Singapore is about 6, okay, let's say 7 million people. 7 million people. When I saw it, I said, what? When people are telling you that the whole of Southeast is one state in Nigeria covers it, they are too small. Then Lagos, as the smallest state, even have, so Lagos should have been 4 countries according to Singapore measurement. So, but these are, and they're under one flag, under the UN. Why are people, you see, that's why Nigeria is backwards. The fear, like Ojukwu said, it is not the unity that is the problem of Nigeria, but the fear of unity. The fear of a people coming together to do something. That is that fear. That is why Nigeria is backwards. We can't move. We just believe in fear. And then look at where we are. They will bring a theory. Somebody from Nigeria, if you ask him, there is a job offer in Singapore, he will jump at it. But Singapore is a tiny country. Maybe not up to your local government. And you want to go there and then reside and enjoy life. But when you come here, say, look, I want to be on, no. If you be on your, and so what? And so what? See, Nigeria is a contradiction. KJ, let me, or if not, I don't, because all these tactics or somebody coming to come and discuss politics without going to the very foundation of Nigeria.
All right,
it's a waste of time.
Let me go to a topic that, that's very dear to my heart, and that's the issue of the IPOB. And I say IPOB because that's one of the reports I did, when I had left my organization. I started doing independent storytelling and documentation. And I was in Umuahia on that fateful day that boys were asked to drink mud water, and some of them didn't survive. So now the question I wanted to ask, which he answered somehow, was that, Nnamdi Kanu, he had told Nnamdi Kanu the way he was going about it was not correct. Now, what I find a bit confusing, and I'll come to you, maybe, stay humble. What I find confusing is that what is the right way to approach these things that the Igbos have not done? What is the right way? And if he said something that is very striking, there is no referendum in the Nigerian Constitution. But also in the Nigerian Constitution, there was no reference to when the president dies in office, what happens? And it did happen. And there was the doctrine of necessity, which was introduced by David Mark and his, cronies in the National Assembly, that made way for Jonathan to take over power. Why can't the doctrine of necessity be introduced so that Nigerian ethnicity or ethnic groups can have a discussion or whether they want to, because even now the middle belt want to be on their own. So why can't this be introduced for everybody to decide what they where best suit them to be?
Okay. So it's a question that's been asked a lot of times, and people are giving different answers to it. I think he mentioned something that like that if there must be division, separation, that there must be war.
War, yeah. That's why I asked.
I don't even think so.
Why
I don't
can't
think so.
use
Sorry, why can't
the doctrine of necessity, which was used to help Nigeria during Jonathan Yar'Adua, death, work in this situation? Why can't the National Assembly, just the way they met in 4 days and in less than 4 days and changed the national anthem? Okay, they met and approved all kinds of things. Why can't that be done in this case?
Yeah, it's very simple. The simple answer is that we are still being colonized. We still have our masters, unfortunately. We've not gained independence. We're still the word, even sovereignty, is a huge word that people misuse. How many countries are even sovereign in the world? We are not even talking about sovereignty. We're talking about like simple autonomy. Like simple autonomy. Sovereignty is big. A lot of countries are not sovereign, but they're autonomous. That means they can govern themselves. There are things outside their purview that other countries determine for them, unfortunately. But in our own case, we are not even autonomous. And then that even answers the question as to why the national anthem was changed quickly. And that way, if you know the answer, it will lead to a lot of other answers. And we are not in control. We are not in charge. And why are we not in charge? Because Nigeria is a huge, huge enterprise. Nigeria is a huge enterprise, and that's one of the things. You can see countries like Botswana, Namibia prospering. How many? There's nothing much. These people are benefiting from there. Namibia is mainly desert. They can pull their hands and just watch Namibians enjoy some things, like constant electricity, but good roads, basic amenities. They don't really care. But Nigeria is a huge place for them. The amount of solid minerals in Nigeria, we Nigerians don't even know. We've not even done a geological mapping. We don't have a map of resources in Nigeria because they don't want us to have it. Some people know. They know, oh, these are the resources in so and so places. So Nigeria is huge in terms of mineral resources. It's also a huge enterprise in terms of human resources. Do you know how many doctors we have supplied to the UK in the last 10 years? More than 10,000 doctors have moved from Nigeria to the UK, more than 20,000 nurses. That's a huge business. Come on. How would they leave such a country? And just the UK alone, I've not talked about Canada or US or Australia, Saudi Arabia, what have you. So I've mentioned I've mentioned the human resources. So, and the caliber of people living in Nigeria, especially down south, the people that can actually, they're actually strong, the people that, because most of the doctors and nurses from Nigeria working outside, they're from the south. So that's huge human resources. They don't want to miss it. And that's why you have what you have. They determine who becomes your president. They determine who becomes your governors. That's why you see Mr. Adeleke going to thank Tinubu. Doesn't value the people the way the people holding office still treat the citizens, because they are representing the colonial masters. So they treat the citizens the way the colonial masters were treating them. So there's no real independence here. So those decisions cannot be taken as to having a referendum. But there is a but. So it's not all doom and gloom because of information technology. The day it will happen in Nigeria, it will be like piam. It will take everybody by surprise. See what happened in ENSA. ENSA is just a precursor. It's just the prelude to a lot of things that will happen. If things continue this way, it cannot even continue this way. That stuff that you played, you said that the video, one of the videos where someone did a project and said Nigeria cannot work because it cannot continue like this. The day it will happen, all these people saying, "Oh, you cannot do this referendum." They will not need referendum. They will not need everything. It just happen, spontaneously, and everybody will find their way.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on.
Let them withdraw it. I will tear my document with first class honors. Let them withdraw it. I will tear my document. I will tear my certificate if Nigeria works because it will prove they went home to school.
Are you telling us that you've written? Is this evidence that Nigeria is not going to work?
This is my thesis, documented, supervised by professors. This is a research that took me 4 solid years to research about Nigeria and the solution for Nigeria. And the solution is, ladies and gentlemen, we can walk. There is no amount of prayer, no amount of government, no amount. We are in a diplomatic hostage.
Diplomatic hostage.
Okay, so this is 55 pages document in total.
The document is all about Nigeria can never work.
It can.
The only man that documented 49 pages, proving.
You know the name of the guy. You know the guy's name.
I don't know his name. I have to go back to the way I got it from to check for his name. CM, you are a researcher, and this guy has spent 4 years, and he's putting his research and his work on the line. He's putting his PhD, he's putting his university degrees on the line. What is the way?
KJ, your voice is cutting. I don't know whether you know. KJ, your voice. Stay humble. Are you hearing him clearly?
Yes. So he's asking about.
Go ahead if you can hear me. Just.
No, why is your voice cutting now when you're talking?
Yeah, the guy that asked that did the research, and then he came up with the fact that Nigeria cannot work. So
yes,
he's asking what your take is on it.
Yeah, well, quite easily.
Please, if my network cut, just go ahead and speak. Okay, I can still hear you.
Quite easily. But I will return to this idea of. I had somebody say, Kayode Ogundamisi said that it will be war to break up. I will come to that later. Now, the guy who did the research, and at least he's holding it, showing it that this is what he documented, that can never work. My take on it is that I wish I know him. I believe in looking at the reasons. That is what I will debate. Not whether the man is blue or black, or he's ugly, he's short. No, I don't. In fact, even if he didn't show his face or show his name, just give me the work. I will read it and then know the reasons and how he got his facts. Whether some are conjecture or some are just based on, or maybe, let me see how he conducted the research. 1, whether it's something that can stand the test of time. 2, what the reasons he gave, and then I will look at the reasons. If I have any contrary view on the reasons, because that is discussion. After getting your facts, you discuss it the way you want, probably to suit your title, if it's a thesis. But me, I will also ask a question that, since you say this is this, don't you think it should have been this? That is type of critical, analysis I will do. But to start to insult him or to abuse him or to take Nigerian system because this holy grail of say nothing bad about Nigeria. No. Because in Nigeria, when you say this country is made by God, in fact, I've not been hearing that in so how many years now. God created Nigeria. I've not been, it's like that one has died. God created Nigeria. Nigeria is indivisible, indestructible, indissoluble. You know, all those indie. I've not been hearing them again. But that is by the way. So in this case, what I will, like what I'm saying now, what I will do is, I don't need to know the guy's name or whoever he is. Just give me the thesis, delete his name and everything. Let me read it. After reading it, I will say whoever is the writer. That is the way I do, because it's his effort. I don't want, if a typical Nigerian will say where he come from, oh no, he just jump and then go to conclusion without reading it. I won't do that. So to me, I commend him for, it's a good exercise. He spent his resources, time, money, energy. Yes, I commend him for doing that. Yes. Secondly, I will now look into his findings and see whether I agree, whether it's logical. Not that I agree because he has a reason. Whether it's logical, the reasons he gave why it won't work. If not, I will add it to my own body of knowledge. Or that if it was either way, I will also, make my own input known. That is what I will say. Then this idea that, oh no, Nigeria cannot without war is all lies. If all three of us here represent different ethno-linguistic group, I'm not saying state, I'm not saying region. People should get me clear. Ethno-linguistic group, let's say three of us represent differently. Stay humble, say I want to clear, and me I want to clear. Why should I point a gun towards Stay Humble that you must come back? Why should Stay Humble point a gun to me? CM, you must come back. That is when war starts. If Stay Humble want to go, if I have money, I will say, Stay Humble, well, since that is what you and your people decide, well, accept my moral support. Thank you. Me, too, I want to go. So why should I be interested in fighting you? Why there was war in 1960 was Ndi Igbo want to leave, and the rest of the country don't want them to go. They force them back. Don't quote me. Go and read the book of Alabi Sama, The Tragedy of Victory and the other thing. Alabi Sama incidentally is an Igbo man. The father is from Okwane. The mother is a Muslim from Kwara State. It happened that the mother took him and then he was brought up in Kwara at a lorry area. He joined the army. As luck or fate will have it, Alabi Isama was posted to Ukwane area, his own people. That's where he fought. The mother left a lorry, like he said, traced him down to Ukwane and they come and say, my son, but why are you fighting? Why are you, what did Indibo do to you? He said, we are told not to allow them to go. Do you see it? No, this Alabi Sama is alive, and his book is there. He said, we are fighting, we don't want them to go. That was why the war. Okay, so the way it is now, maybe Sunday Igboho is saying Yorubas want to leave. Nnamdi Kanu is saying Ndi want to leave. Why should Sunday Igboho and then Nnamdi Kanu be fighting each other? Ditto for any other person doing it. So when people come and they that is what I call it is scaremongering. Is scaremongering. Czechoslovakia is a country with capital at Prague. 1st January 1993, they came together and said, look, Slovakia area, 5.something million. Czechs, 10.something million. They said this marriage is not working. They part their ways. Bratislava became the capital of Slovakia, while Prague remains the capital of Czechs. Was there any war? Who killed them? Why can't it? You see, that is why sometimes when they kind of say the brain of a black man is not developed, it's too micro. We see examples and we can't. Look at Europe. I gave an example of saying, do you know the day I discovered Singapore, I wept. When you ask, they say, hey, Anambra is a very small state. The whole of Southeast is not even up to Niger State. I agree. The smallest state in Nigeria is Lagos. Do you know that Lagos is 4 times land size that of Singapore? But can Lagos ever compete with Singapore in anything? It can't. But Singapore is a bona fide, how they call it, how they say it, a member of the UN with their flag, everything, enjoying it. If you tell Nigerians I'm a recruitment agent, I want to recruit some engineers to come and work in Singapore, and you advertise it in Nigerian newspaper. Look, if you want 100, 1 million will apply. They want to go to Singapore, a very tiny island, because they are good and they're enjoying their life themselves. They built it. So why is it that when you talk to Nigeria, hey, please, you want to do this? How much do you want to divide? Divide what? Nobody is dividing you. It's not division. If you are tired in any system, you should be free to go out. There's no point of doing all this. Or some people, when they want to be cheeky, do you know what they will tell you? Why not submit a bill to National Assembly? As an Igbo man, I want to be a country of my own. I will go and submit a bill so that if somebody from Ningi in Bauchi, will discuss my fate, whether I deserve to be free. Or you are from Southwest, you want to have Odua Republic. You go and submit a bill at the National Assembly. Then somebody from Cross River or Newi will come and debate whether Yoruba will be free. What's my business with that? It doesn't concern, it's none of my business. So this is the area of development, that the reality that Nigerians do not want to face. That's why people say Nigeria is a fraud. And when they say it's a fraud, and they know it, they use scaremongering. It's also called scaremongering. Scare. Okay, look at Alabi Isama fighting people. What reason are you fighting in Igbo? He said, we were told not to allow them to go. Alabi Isama is alive. He fought. He fought the civil war from beginning to the end. He wrote a book. In a way, he's regretting because he sees what is happening. So these are the issues that Nigeria do not want to confront. All they go about is they scare. Okay, now let us unite like Ojukwu was saying. It becomes the fear of unity. You say the majority are dominating the minority. I agree. Now, minority, let us divide Nigeria based on ethno-linguistic groups so that there won't be any domination. They said no. How many people you want to divide? So how you can't eat what really do Nigerians want? I don't want to dominate anybody. I don't want personally, but I want to be on my own.
CM, I want to ask you a question, and before I come to consign, and thank you so much. Before you guys came, I threw out a challenge here. I said, if anybody can find anywhere in the world where an Igbo man or Igbos went and took over the land and installed themselves as emir, king, chief over, that I will refuse. I will stop being an Igbo person. Do you have anywhere in the world where Igbos have gone and taken over? Because if you notice what the woman was saying in that other video, she was saying that the Igbos are looking for how to dominate, where we come with trick to dominate and take them over. So, do you have anywhere, since you are well researched, have you seen any location where the Igbos went and took over?
Well, the thing is that CM. The thing is, sometimes when there is a need to ask a question, you know the answer. Sometimes, like you are doing now, you know the answer to the question, though you are asking it. So it's just to fulfill all righteousness, so that people will know. Maybe if you want to really challenge people, you say you are putting $100. Let's start with $100. Anybody who can give example where so you like what the question? Maybe people will come up because maybe now they won't see. You see, all these things are just, believe me, scaremongering. That is what they call scaremongering. There's a video making the round. I saved it, but I don't know where I kept it. Ojukwu, when he was alive, they were interviewing him. Ojukwu said, we have tried. I think I crammed it, or maybe people who knows will correct me. We have tried to live in a Nigeria designed by Britain and handed to us. We have had problem living in that Nigeria. We've killed so many people, yet the problem still persists. Is it not time for us to go to the very foundation of that Nigeria? This was what Ojukwu said. You see, the problem is when people say it, there's something, that is why we don't, there is nothing. If you want to be together, why can't we come together and agree? Write a constitution based on ethnic people, because the problem with Nigeria is that minority people, smaller people will say the majority will dominate us, they use our resources. I agree. That somebody is 1 million in population does not mean you that is 20 million will dominate him. After all, India is not dominating. Despite 1.something billion, 1 seat at the UN. Singapore, 1 seat. Look at the population. Look at the land size. So why can't we now come and say, look, okay, you that is 100,000, this is your area. Let that be your area, be there. You that is 20 million, this is your area. Why can't we do it? Then people will on the sideline and be telling you, how many people do you want to divide Nigeria into? So which one do you want now? I want to go out. You say no. You force me back. Now let us come together and then say you because that is the way it is, and you are afraid again. So what do you want? What actually do you want? Because the more you read histories about what happened in the past, you find that Nigeria is running a relay race in which you run, you give batting. The same thing will be repeating itself again. Why? I believe in everybody cannot be 20 million, every ethnic group, or 30 or 40 or 50. Even if you are 500,000, yes, God created you that way. But I cannot, because I'm 30 million, and dominate you. And if you feel I'm dominating you, let us sit down and then delineate our boundary. And then this is your own. It's not a question of, okay, can you believe, you know the greatest insult people always get? The Nigerians don't remember it. As at 1979, there's a place called Obibo under the authority of Sam Mbakwe as governor of Imo State. By 1980, Obibo was under the authority of Sam Mbakwe. By 1982, the same. Towards 1983, they brought a Fulani, Justice Mama Nasri, to come and be doing boundary adjustment. Look at where he came from. How can you send me CM from Anambra State to go and be doing boundary adjustment between Yobe and Damaturu? I mean, Yobe and Borno State. Why should I go to that committee? If you want to bring peace, you just call people from Yobe. Say, when I know where this thing dey. They agree this is where the thing dey. In the villages, we all have land. We all have land. You call your neighbor, say, let us put our boundary. Not when you have land, you go and bring the man. They now carve Obibo into River State. But it was under Sam Mbakwe as governor of Imo State. You carve it into you. Ask people of Obibo. They will tell you 1978, 79. They were under Sam Mbakwe. 80, they were this thing. They were part of Imo State. Suddenly they wake up to say they want to do boundary adjustment. Is that the way to do it? These are some of the things that Nigerians should be able to confront. How can you tell me to go and carve a local government between Oyo State and Osun State? What my business? Am I Yoruba? I'm not. I won't be that committee. If you tell me, I say, no, I don't want to. Organize the people. They should know their place. You can't come and tell me to come and delineate between Urobo and the Isoko. I won't do that.
Thank you so much, Sam. So let's welcome Mr. Consign. Mr. Consign, you were not able to be here earlier on.
Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. I'm sure you're. Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
Mr. CM, Happy New Year. Mr. Humble, Mr. Humble, the same thing. How are you guys doing? You people on point, you know. Both CM and stay humble. I like the first time Humble analyzed, you know. It was very, very on point. I've not seen him spoke like that in a while, you know. Really. The way he spoke about the man who came to talk nonsense today. No matter, I don't normally listen to those people that used to come. Because when they come, they start talking. Sometimes it's all human being like me. So sometimes whatever they know, they want to say. I already so I know some of them because I listen to news every day. I read papers, I read all those things. So whatever they will, I will know. Even in interviewing some other tribes here, I used to interview some other. When I meet some other tribes here, I used to discuss with them. And whenever I discuss, I know what's coming out from their mind. When you are talking with a Yoruba man now, you will know what is coming out from his. All of them is always go the same lane. All of them, almost all of them, because they discuss a bit, they discuss so much. So whenever you're talking with somebody from South, you will see that it's almost the same thing they were telling you. Yeah, either they tell you that the country have already destroyed before Tinubu, or they will tell you that even if another person comes, it's going to be the same. Or they will tell you that all of them are the same. So when you hear those kind of things, even those that come here every time to talk, all of those you start to the same thing they will tell you. So whenever those kind of people come in to talk here, I know. You see, for me, talking about Nigeria is like sometimes it's like giving yourself more headache. Because if you really like in abroad now, or you have been to some other countries, you will know that Nigeria can never work in life. It's not a cause, but Nigeria already caused itself. It's a cause that have caused themselves. If somebody asks you now if this terrorism will stop, how will that terrorism stop? It can never stop. Since that evil, anytime evil started, where the people are not united, the evil will continue to grow. Is it not last week or last 2 weeks? I was watching news. I saw, is it in Katsina or Sokoto State, that Alero or what, having a discussion with even one in Nigeria, in discussion with the police and the police and the military. They are making peace meeting. Up to now, they're still making peace meeting in that place. A whole country making peace meeting with terrorists, and the man is telling them, Alero is even warning Nigeria, the police and the military. And the military are the one guiding him. The military are with him there. So when you see such a thing, it's not abomination. Since we are born in Nigeria, have you seen such a thing? Even last 20, 30, 40 years, did you see such a nonsense? So when you see such a thing, you start thinking, looking at yourself, say Nigeria will be good. It can never be. When you see that the person who from Boko Haram is outside, those who from Boko Haram are outside, and then the Khan is in jail, then you start looking at that country that can be well. The man who from Boko Haram is walking around. Nobody is doing anything to him. Even those who bring these people that are killing people today, Rufai, all of them, Tinubu, all of them, they are the part of the people who bring these people, Buhari, all of them, who bring these people that are killing people to Nigeria. When you look at this, then you say Nigeria will be good. Look at the last week, that idiot from Osun State say kill people people of another party. So when you look at that man, is not even arrested. So when you see such a thing, you think that Nigeria will be good. You see, even in the Bible, even in the Quran, even in Abushia or anything at all, my brother, where there's no justice, it can never, even if in your family, maybe you treat one of your son or one of your child badly. You think that your family will grow? It can never grow. With the kind of injustice in Nigeria, I've never seen it before. Look at the injustice, even the people whom you are voting for. Okay, let me give you an example. Those that the politicians, these resources that what God gave to all of us, these resources. But that man, that people, instead of making a good hospital, building a good hospital that me and you will enjoy, you and them can enjoy, all of us can enjoy together, can save our life. They don't want to do it. Instead, they use that money and go and they dump it in abroad. When they are sick, they go abroad and take and they treat themselves. And those who are supporting them are dying. When those people are sick, they die. You understand? It's not the most wicked. That is the most wicked thing you can do to any human being. You have the money that the resources God give me and you to give us at least better health care. You don't want to do it, but you take the money and put it abroad, keep it for you and your family. When you are sick, you go there and get treatment. But the common people, when they are sick, they die. So and then you see those common people, they don't even have brain to say this must stop. Instead, they are talking about they're giving them bread. They're giving them bread, and they are happy. So when you look at that, such human beings, you think that they're human beings? You know, there's something there's a problem. There is a big problem. When I talk about Namibia or Botswana also, my brother, in go to Namibia, you make a $10 Namibian dollar card in the hospital. That $10 Namibian dollar, even if you're a foreigner, even if you have paper, you don't have paper, you have that $10 Namibian card. It's forever. Anytime you go to hospital, you must get treatment. They must give you medicine free. But they have nothing. They don't have much. They have only their diamond and the fish they export. But a country that God bless so much, nothing. Even common hospital we don't have. Common light we don't have. So when you look at it, then you say that Nigeria will be good. Almost all the big good houses in Potomac, other places in this America is built by Nigerians. The same thing in Britain, all those kind of places. And the people who are supporting them see that, look at even weekend, all these ministers, all these people, they're putting their children in better schools, giving them whatever they, even making them to be politicians now. And you, that is nothing, you're supporting those people. When they give you gun, you can't keep people because of them. At the end of the day, you are nothing. So when you see all those things happening, you think that such a country can do, no. Even in the Bible we read, he said if there's no peace in any place, if there's no peace, if there's no justice, no whatever you do in life can never work. It can never. Whether we this Nigeria stay 100 or 200 or 300, nothing will move. Nothing will move in Nigeria. It's a cause that Nigerians have put on themselves with their wicked leaders. If a tribe, a majority of a tribe, will be supporting a criminal, a well-known criminal, a majority of a tribe, because when you say, people say it's not all the whole tribe, but let me tell you, it's the majority. Almost 90% of the Southwesterners are supporting Tinubu. Have such a thing, tell me in a country, or in Nigeria, even in Nigeria, such a thing have not happened before. They are now following the step of what the Fulanis did. Fulani supported Buhari, so let us support Tinubu. Let him bring whatever I have to for Yoruba land. And you think it's a good thing for the country? And tomorrow, what if Tinubu goes out, another person goes out, what's going to happen? What will happen?
Okay, thank you.
I
want to
start
ask,
crying.
I want to ask
A
a question.
criminal is a criminal. Look at the kind of record that man have, that America is telling you if you release it, this will happen. And you people still have the mind to support such a human being? Why not even say, let us make a new support a better person from a Yoruba land, which everybody with trust and be happy with. So when you are looking at all these things, I've voted myself. I tell the people where we used to buy something here in Osun, I tell them for about 6 years ago, I say Nigeria is a cost. And some people supported me. Some people say how can I say it's cost a minor from there? But today they are seeing it. If at the end of the day, the people that are killing people in Nigeria cannot be arrested, but you go and arrest IPOB members, you go and arrest ordinary. You see, this thing that we say every time, it's not about any Southeasterners. Even South also enjoy the kind of treatment you are getting. South are into it. They are also killing anything that happens, they will go and kill them. Anything that a South person do, they will treat it the same way they treat Southeast. But for them also, their own brain they are confused about where they are, about where they are going. When a tribe sees that they cannot be able to govern themselves, it's the kind of people you want to be with. Somebody from this in Rivers will tell you, if we or Benin will tell you, if we cannot divide, if we divide, where are we going, or who will rule us? That you see that people are confused. Is the kind of person that we see that here. He say that he's somebody. It's very difficult to when you see the kind of people.
All right. Thank you so much.
The injustice in Nigeria
can you hear
is
me?
too much. And this injustice will continue. This injustice started from before even after from the wartime to up to now. That injustice is still.
Conscience, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Conscience.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can hear me, thank you so much.
I'm hearing you.
I wanted to ask you a question. Can you hear me?
Hello?
CM, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We are hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
No
I hear
problem.
the time we are calling concern. Yeah. What you want to say something?
I want to speak now.
I can't hear
All
you.
right. CN, can you hear
Hello?
me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you. I can
Okay,
hear you.
so
KJ,
but I tell
KJ,
you,
go on. No, no, concern. Hold
Okay.
on first. Hold on.
Hold
KJ
on.
want to speak.
okay.
There was a question that that's
I
asked
can't hear
Mr.
KJ.
Kayode.
It's
There was
the
a
I don't hear
question.
problem.
KJ.
No, concern. The problem is with your connection. I can hear KJ, and the KJ is coming out clearly. The problem is with your connection. KJ, continue.
Okay, can you hear us?
Continue,
If you
KJ.
can hear us,
Continue.
okay. Now, the question was asking, why did you? There are so many negative reports you wrote about Ndibo, especially Ngozi Konjiwala, and the question was also asked, why did you not? You supported Buhari, and now you find it difficult to support Peter Obi. Buhari and Peter Obi, who is much better? One person who have seen what the person can do. I've seen what Peter Obi did in Anambra State, and he could not, in honesty, say that he can support Peter Obi. So the question is, do you think he has some form of bias to the Igbo people, or is it that just every writer can choose a side and he decided to choose the wrong side?
Well, the thing is, there's a man called Adeyinka grandson. Kayode Ogundamisi. I think I asked him the last time he came here. I asked him that question. That's why when I even saw him, I didn't show up. Adeyinka grandson lived in the UK. Adeyinka grandson and Kayode wanted to recruit him so that they go and work for Buhari. I mean, when you say you want to work for Buhari, the rational thing to say is that convince people as at 2015 you went to work for him that Buhari is capable. That is the way to do it. What did you see in Buhari in 2015? Do you feel that he's capable? He's better than the incumbent Jonathan? Other than maybe what some people may call stomach infrastructure. You want to gain something. That's all. You see, the tragedy of any leader, let me say this, just like what is happening with Tinubu. You may be surprised that educated people who know better than most of us are supporting Tinubu. Not because Tinubu is capable, but they feel that there's a story called the king must dance naked or something like that.
Yes.
Tinubu needs people that will be propping him because Tinubu is not educated. He's a criminal. So if you are clapping for him, he feels he has arrived. These people are going for him for meal ticket. They feel that Tinubu's mental capacity is not developed. All he needs, and he has so many baggages, therefore he's vulnerable. He wants people to come and after criticizing him, they will now bring him Daniel Bwala, who talk nonsense about him. He will now give him something. What is the name? FFK for food only. He will now come to him. It's all these things. So when you hear, yes, when you see people like it doesn't make you. It doesn't. You see, there's something that. I used to have a lecturer who said, "There's a way you will greet him. He won't take your greeting." He said, "I know when I'm insulted." Forget about all these people milling around Tinubu. That was what happened with Buhari. People like they only went there to work for Buhari for what? In his conscience, he felt Buhari will deliver. Have you heard that Buhari, a president, a former head of state, no certificate, he entered the army. Without certificate, he entered the army. And then because of Nigerian system, he became a general since. Have you heard that Buhari wrote letter to the editor, not to sort of authoring a book or a journal or an article in a newspaper? Have you heard it? This was the man that went to United States to say 97% and 5%. Does he know what percent means? The standard figure for percentage. He told Donald Trump that those people you see killing people in Nigeria, they are not Nigerians. They are from Chad, they are foreigners. Then why are you protecting them? When the governor of Benue State went to Abuja to go and see Otom, to go and see the commander-in-chief. Look at what I'm facing. It's beyond me as a state. He said, they are your brothers. Go and cooperate with them. But you told the America that they are not Nigerians. Yet you are using Nigerian resources to protect them. Who is fooling who? And this is the person Kayode Ogundamisi worked to bring into power. And they are proud of saying it. You work for Buhari. You campaign for him to bring him into power. If you are campaigning for somebody, can't you go through the person's background? What made you? What tell me? Because the question should be, for you to go and campaign for Buhari in 2015, you must have read so much about him. What is it that convinced you about the man? Tell us the qualities you saw in Buhari 2015 that made you to campaign for him. You left, you want to go and campaign for him, and they start talking all this. The idea is that everybody is, some people are hungry. So they feel that when we get to Buhari, you know this thing called brain. If your brain is not developed, it's not developed. No matter the type of psychophancy that surrounds you. You cannot. Being a court clerk for 50 years can never make you a barrister. You can't be a barrister. In that same court, you've been carrying file as a court clerk. You know all the lawyers that come and defend cases. You can never stand there as a barrister to defend a case, no matter your years of being a court clerk, until you go through the normal process. So when people see people like Buhari, they want to exploit him. They now come, I want to work. What does Buhari know? Buhari is the lowest of the low, a stark illiterate of the worst kind that you people imposed on Nigeria, and you are coming out to work for Buhari. Now look at Tinubu, the same forged certificate, and some people are saying, why people defend Tinubu? All protocols observed though. Why people defend Tinubu is because of what they are going to get. Let me illustrate with this, because I'm not exempting anybody. The Southeast governors, my governor from Anambra, Soludo has first class. Undergraduate, the best student, everything, masters on the distinction, the best student, PhD, the best thesis, vice chancellor's award, valedictorian, name it. Very clean from secondary school distinction. Soludo ended the political career of a lady in Anambra State called Uche Ekwunife. Uche Ekwunife had 4 credits, which is not even up to characteristics of a scholar having passed through secondary school, because this thing must be 5 credits, that's not more than 2 sittings. She only had 4, and then she's writing a bachelor's degree accountancy, University of Calabar, master's in business administration, MBA from Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Fiam! She went to and start writing PhD, public administration, Atlantic International University, somewhere in Honolulu, Hawaii, United States. Soludo discovered it during an election and used it to a devastating effect. Do you know what he said? He said, this is a forged certificate. He said in PhD, when you say your PhD, you say the publication that came out of it. It is when you get a publication, a good university will now say, now that you've been able to get this thing that is publishable, please write up and defend. So that when you are defending your thesis, you say, this is what came out of it. That's what is called research. Uche Ekwunife haven't got that. And then Soludo went ahead to say, the university Uche Ekwunife is quoting is not recognized in America. And Nigerian Universities Commission did not recognize it as a foreign university. So where did you get this PhD from? So it's forged. Inan told Anambra that there are a lot of work to be done in Anambra State. It's not only building bridges and roads and giving infrastructure, recruiting teachers, and building healthcare facilities. That when he gets his second term, they will deal with fake certificate. Adiboroja certificate. That is one. Now, that same Soludo is telling Anambra, at least, to go and vote for Tinubu with forged certificate. Can you see it? The reason being that they are gaining money. Tinubu want to give money. That's why all these governors, 32 or 33 or 34, everybody is just joining. So we are now a part of Tinubu. It's to get money from the man. They know he's not capable. Tinubu's brain is not developed. It's only about how to carry cocaine. That's all. Yes, now, no school. He can't point. He can't point to any school that he attended. He cannot. So people coming to him, when you hear professors like Soludo will tell you Tinubu is devil Mahio, They are looking for money, but I don't, because Soludo said in the end he want to point to Ndanambra, this is what I did as governor, and he needs money. So he's going to Tinubu. It's as simple as that. We know it. If you confront him and said in Anambra, you said no forged certificate. Why are you pushing us to Tinubu with forged? The logic, he won't defend it. So that is the thing with Buhari and somebody. In fact, if you tell me that you work for Buhari, I look at you as a vermin, that you are even below the carpet intelligence. That is just what I will. You go and work for Buhari. For what? As how? What can Buhari do? What does Buhari know? Buhari is not, the brain is not developed. He can't be a leader. The same thing with this Tinubu that is messing up. Give him 500 years, he doesn't know what to do. Just to borrow money. Every two months, you go and borrow money. Every two months, you go and borrow money.
That is the next discussion. And I'm coming to Mr. Benson Emmanuel, aka Consign. Now, what CM said last is very concerning. We all know that Mr. Tinubu does not have the capability to deliver Nigeria. Yet, people are clamoring to support and to make sure that he comes back to power. Mr. Wike, or as they say, wicked Wike, said that it's because Tinubu don't want to win Osun. That is why he didn't send him there. I want to ask you, Mr. Consign, is it that Wike is a one-man jungle, that when he goes there, he will become millions of people and vote for APC? Or is it that he has the ability to make sure that all ballot boxes all ballot papers are cast for APC? What does it mean? And then, if that is the case, that we know that Tinubu is not capable of handling Nigerian as a nation, why do our people keep trying to bring him back, or people even trying to campaign for him? What's the lesson to be learned from Osun State, as the people did? Do you have any lesson, any takeaway from there?
Okay. That's to show you where Nigeria is going. That's to show you when I say Nigeria is a cost place, or they cost themselves. That is the thing. When brilliant people, educated people, professors will be supporting such a human being. You see, you know that when we grow up, even up till now, even in Igbo land, if you see somebody who the money is not good or pure or nice, you can't support him. Whatever happens, you cannot support him. You even look at him, he's spreading his money and so, but at the end of the day, you know that such a person is not worthy of anything in your community. So that's what makes a community, what makes a people. But this time now, because of, and again, this thing that man said, Wike, that really exposed what the APC is doing, what they are known for. It's a party that they are not winning an election, they're only rigging every election. They tried to rig this one, it didn't work out. That's why he's talking those nonsense. Because if you look at what Rufai is saying, Rufai is saying that when people, he said there's stages of when people face something, there are many stages. They will be telling you this, that, you know. So that's the kind of stage they're going now. One, they tried to rig it, it didn't work for them. The people were on them. So that's why they come and start talking all this nonsense they're talking. For Wike and the Tinubu and so on and so forth, it really exposed them so much to show you that what they only master so much is how to rig election. Now they tried, it didn't work out. For the borrowing and all the rest, you see, this borrowing will continue. And where is the money of that borrowing going? That money of borrowing is going to is for bribing people. You bribe here, you bribe here, you bribe here. So that's what the Nigerian people don't want to. Those who are supporting him, they don't know that their country is going. Who is going to pay this money? You have in America, you have many of these things. Even this FBI something and so on, they're releasing these documents. Even the court, all this, it's just bribing people. Bribing people, bribing. In Nigeria, it's bribing. He's bribing what they call it, some of the pastors. He's bribing almost everybody. That man is bribing everybody. And that money they are borrowing, they're not doing to do anything better. It's only to bribe. So if Nigerians want to save their country, it's not they can stand up and there protest and say this country cannot go like this anymore. But everybody is keeping quiet. Mostly those that are hungry, mostly those that are the sycophants. They are only going to this man, continue asking to continue to borrow so that they continue to keep in their pocket. Because this borrowing, we don't see anything that even the money of even without borrowing, even the money of the money they win from the subsidy and all the rest. Where is their money? The man is making those that he's going to make billionaire and using other money to make bribery so that he can continue to be there. But at the end of the day, at the long run, what happens? Who is going to suffer? Even now we are suffering. The people are suffering. And if you continue like that, more people will going to suffer. And where the country is going to hell. Nigeria is going to hell. Because with the money this man is borrowing, with all that he's doing, with all the nonsense, okay, even this election, now, you know how much the budget for the election? They more budgeted billions and billions and billions for the election. You see, so to let you to tell the truth, this money they will continue to borrow this money. The terrorism will continue to be there. The killing will continue to be there. And nothing will work in Nigeria as long as this man and his all this is follow this and that there. For Wike, all these things Wike is doing. You see, Wike is afraid. Wike has offended Obi. Wike has offended what they call Atiku. If like Atiku win the election today, Wike run out from Nigeria. So everything Wike is doing is so to see that this fraud is continuing to going on and continue to protect himself. That's only why Wike is not talking nonsense. He's talking, throwing jab at Obi, throwing jab at this, throwing jab at that, throwing jab at that. But those that supported Wike, that those G5 made tribute, supported tribute that time, all of them they are regretting. They have already regretted. So it's better for the new people now, those who are doing supporting also, to move from their position and find a better way to do to support the better candidate. But at the end of the day, my brother, the country, the way it is and the way it's going, it's already cost itself. The country cannot be good. We only pray. I hear who said that. I only pray that one day, like what Trump said the other time, one day, how the country be divided, nobody will know.
All right.
If anybody think that the country cannot be divided, that person is making a mistake. Why these people from the southwest are supporting Tinubu? They are supporting Tinubu so that they already know the country can never be good. These people, these southwestern are supporting Tinubu. They know that the country cannot be good. So what they are trying to do is just let's support him so that he can bring whatever he can suffer from Nigeria, can go from Nigeria and bring it to us, develop our place. But if to say that they know, if that they are supporting that the country will be good, no. They're lying to themselves. They know that the country cannot be good. Anybody who, let's say it's a dumb person, somebody who has no single brain, that will believe that Nigeria will be good. It can never be. Up to now, where terrorists are still in the country, where the injustices are perpetrating, where even in Ojo, Benue, everywhere they are killing, a country that has a president. If I borrow your word, KJ, you said the country, the people know what to do, but they don't want to do it. The government know what to do, but they don't want to do it. Thank you.
All right.
Well, no, but they don't want to do it.
Thank you. I'm coming. Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Tony. I'm coming back to, oh my God, what's happened to my network today? I'm coming to you, Tony, but I want to ask CM a very quick question. CM, we're still on this topic, but let's pivot a little bit away. Our sister Mary Habila had been secretly buried. Autopsy report not known, and no police case, no military case, no court thing. We have our daughter, our dear sister, beautiful Betty Edu, as the 90s, Mrs. OJ, right? That's also one of those of money and money missing and money transaction up to 1 billion naira reported. We're not saying that she was corrupt. They're only saying that EFCC say we found her to be wanting in this area. The case went to court. Up to today, there's no news. Betty Edu's case went to court. Up to today, there's no news. But what do you make of all this? Because these people say they are fighting corruption. And then these corruption cases come up and it disappears through the window. Is it that Betty Edu, who I believe may not be corrupt, may be used? So they found out that they cannot send an innocent woman to prison and they quietly put it out. Or what? Go ahead, CM.
Well, the thing about, on Betty Edu, it hasn't changed now. Betty is just like it's like a front for those that are higher up in government. If they prosecute Betty and then do all this, she will expose a lot of things. So the best thing is to give her safe landing and ease her away. It's as simple as that. Betty on her own cannot initiate $1 billion corruption. $1 billion naira. No. Who is she? It's just that she was used as a conduit to do some job, maybe for some commission, and then the thing went. The thing can't get leg. So in order not to get to the real masquerade, the people inside the masquerade, so to speak, they have to find a way to ease her out. That is just the case of Betty. We know it's not Betty per se. If it's Betty doing that thing on her own, it will be exposed. So that is as simple
also,
as
CM. The fake agencies have increased to 3 now. So
in fact, now you are talking. Now you are talking. You see?
Yeah. So
you see
this other man is going to be hard not to chew because the guy is fighting back. He has said he literally gave him it's not forged. So what do you make of it? Because we said on this platform that he has more. We conclude more, and there may be even more than 3. Because these are places where they used to. Go ahead, sir.
You see, the thing is, I don't know, but I should have used one principle in chemistry to explain this, but I will still say it. Maybe for those that's what they call Le Chatelier's principle. Le Chatelier's principle is in chemistry. He's saying that when a system is in equilibrium, that is everything settled, and there are so many factors that are responsible for maintaining that equilibrium. That's why the system is in equilibrium. There are factors that help to maintain it. Now he's saying if one of the factors or any of the factors happen to change in order to distort the equilibrium, the entire system will adjust itself to nullify the effect of that factor. So that is let me just explain it this way. So what is happening in Tinubu's government? I said this somewhere, I think whether here or somewhere else. Since the founding of Nigeria, this is the first time ever that thieves are effectively in charge at all levels. That is pure thieves. These are certified thieves, certified criminals are in charge from beginning to the end. If you remember when they were looking for Senate President, Jose Okalo cried. For the first time I saw him cry. He said, because he knows that these are his colleagues that are thieves that are forming the government, therefore he should be there. And without him being somewhere, it will be difficult for him in future to get into government the way he wanted it. Fake agency or this thing, Tinubu is fake. Tinubu, the man who created bishops from Agberu, just to satisfy, these are facts now. I don't pass to come they do conjecture. No. Who created bishops from Agbero in Wuse Market, Abuja. Just tell them, wear casocks, sew casocks, or cracker type, wear them and say these are bishops. And say the bishops has even endorsed his ticket. Now, when he spoke to the original bishop, now 3 years later, he doesn't know what to do. When the real bishops came to him to confront him. So Tinubu's government is just a pack of cards. It's just thieves. He will stop at number 3. The man has been a career criminal. That's what he did all his life. Let us examine it. Forget about the issue of 2 or 3 or 4 maybe fake ministries. Somebody who told you that he graduated from a college in 1970 when that college was established in 1974. What do you make out of that such a person?
He could have gone
yes.
there. He could have gone there.
No. It's true. Yes. So this is what this I mean. So Tinubu is a classic case of this is a career criminal. He's a thief. There's no to do with this. He opened it up. You form it. Say okay. So padding budget is not enough. That's why for the first time in the history of Nigeria, you are operating 2024, 2025, and 2026 budget simultaneously. It hasn't happened since. I stand to be corrected. Let somebody say it has happened before. You are implementing 3 budgets at the same time. None of them, you just budget money and then you won't do anything. For the first time, you have somebody tendering how many trillion naira contract. No tender, nothing. You carry and give Chaguri. You see, all these things, I'm not really surprised. All these fake agencies, how to all the money he's borrowing, instead of borrow it from whatever into his pocket, he will put it into fake agency. Where is those fake agency? He knows better. But the thing you have to understand is this, or you have to ask yourself, at nearly 100 years, Tinubu is closer to 100 than 70. At nearly 100 years, what is he stealing all this money for?
That's the question.
So what is Tinubu stealing all this money for? Just it's a disease. To be honest with you, it's a terminal disease. What is he using all this money for? Stealing money left, right, and center. You pad budget, no way. Lagos state government, Alpha Beta, you are collecting money. You now go out to borrow money on behalf of Nigeria. Who will pay this money that Tinubu is borrowing? Somebody said the moratorium hasn't started. Then who will pay it? And when ask people, and when I ask people, let me end on this note. All of us here, 4 of us, we all know that if you want to borrow money, probably from somebody, just a person, personal, you as a friend, if he doesn't trust you, say, oh boy, okay, let me hold it. Give me the paper to that your land, make I hold. So that if you don't bring it, that is collateral. If you go to bank, UBA, First Bank, any bank, and you want to borrow money, they will say no. They will not ask you for collateral. Maybe you are giving them a land that is worth 100 million, but you want to borrow 10 million. They will gladly take it from you, or 20, or 30 million, because they know if you default, that land will fetch them their money, including the lawyer, attorney, or auctioneer, or who sold it. And you, tendering a land of 100 million to borrow 50 million, you will work hard to pay that money back. Or at most, you sell that land by yourself and then pay the money back. In other words, the loan they are giving you, you are bringing something in return. Are you telling me that Tinubu will just enter plane and then land at maybe IMF or World Bank? He say, Emire, he just say, you don't come again. Yes, what do you want? I want 500, I want $2 billion. When do you want it? Now. They just sign and give you. It's a lie. For those that are claiming Niger Delta, because that is a misnomer. Niger Delta, their oil has been battered for at least 30 years. That is what Tinubu is tendering to borrow money. That is what Tinubu is tendering to borrow. You have to ask yourself, what collateral do you give so that they can give you money? Do you think Tinubu will just go and tell, I want to borrow money from World Bank or IMF or anywhere? They just say, okay, how much you need? They give you. You have to tender something. You have to. And what collateral can easily point to? Oil and gas. For those that are saying they have oil, we have our oil. Your oil has been, that is what Buhari was using to collect money to build rail to Niger Republic. Using Niger Delta oil, tender it, collect loan, build rail to Niger Republic. But Nembe, Port Harcourt, Warri, Forcados, Escravo, no rail. Sapeleden, that one, no rail. And this
And
is
they're the
where
ones
you are.
supporting him. They're the ones supporting
No,
him.
no, listen, because people, you see, I always tell people, you must tell, are you thinking that Tinubu will just show up and they give him loan, he will go home? Do you think the white people are stupid? Can you do that?
No
You ask
way.
yourself, what collateral is Tinubu tendering? It's crude oil. Come and mine it for the rest of your life. That's all. And then the oil is gone, and some people will be somewhere sitting say we oil. All
All right.
those ones now
You,
wayo.
you,
So
And using the
Tinubu
money
is
to
a
develop,
criminal. He's a
using the
thief.
money
all
to
right.
develop Southwest.
All right. Let's welcome Tony. Tony, you are welcome. It's good to see you, Tony. I get beef with you, but now outside this place, over a plate of pepper soup, I can tell you.
You
All right.
shouldn't have beef with your in-law, KJ.
And that's why I say that pepper soup now ain't go over. You're welcome. Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
sure
Good
you're welcome.
morning.
It's good to see you. Yes, what do you make of all what we have been talking about? I don't know if you follow them, Mr. Kayode, but you can intervene in any of the discussions I've raised so far.
Okay. Good morning, KJ. Good morning, CM. Benson, greetings. And
Yeah.
greetings are those on the comment section. I've been following on the background. I listened to a couple of things that the guest said, and then I left for a while. But I think I agree with the guy, Walenle, who said that the guest was intellectually dishonest. That's my view, because I listened a few things he said that I agree with, but generally, um, I think he wasn't really. Um, he presented himself as someone who is an academician. Well, with due respect, I respect him because I checked him out. Has a master's degree in international relations. I think 2 masters or something. And so he's well read. He's an established journalist. I read all that, and he's paid his price due. Was arrested by DSS as a result of his um, struggle. Was a member of Odua, People's Congress and so on. So to a certain degree, he has played his part and moved on. But generally speaking, looking at the things that he said, I don't think that, I think he was conservative with the truth. But let's leave that. That's just my summary. I'm sure that has been dealt with. Some people stay humble and some others, and then the discussion proper. But let me correct something that Stay Humble said, just for the purpose of this platform. Stay Humble, amongst other things, did say that Nigeria has not done a census or does not have a record of its solid mineral deposits. I don't think that is true. I think there's been a survey, but I think it's better to say that it's not been updated. But we do have a data. We do have that data which was done so many years ago. But in terms of updating it, I don't think we have done. It doesn't reflect the data that we have. It doesn't reflect the entire capacity of Nigeria's solid mineral deposits. And that's one industry that has been very, very well abused, because you have all commerce there. People are just milking and taking stuff from Nigeria and taking to Dubai, to China, and to some other places. As if there's no government. But that's by the way. I just wanted to point that out. You can check that out, and you would see, you get all the details. Now, where do we start from? Let me take Umahi, the Umahi case, because you did talk about the lady that was died in mysterious circumstances in his house, in his residence, private residence, and he's been buried. There was a lot of hulubalu over the death and so on and so forth. But it's a shame that we're in a country where if that lady died in my house, I'll be perhaps in jail. I'll be in detention. And the mystery surrounding her death has not been unearthed up to now. You did say we haven't seen the autopsy report. We saw an attempt initially to just bury her as quickly as possible. If you look at the pronouncements of Umahi, from the things that she said, he gave the appearance that he was there at the final minutes of the lady's death. And from what we know, I don't know, it doesn't appear that he was there. So there are certain statements that he made, the last statements of the lady, which kept me, for instance, wondering, were you really there? How did you get this information? Had discussions with the boyfriend, and so on and so forth, very sensitive issues that he relayed. And people are asking, you can only get this information if you were there. Okay? And this is not the first time that we are hearing that, this man is associated with people dying. We have the Nilan engineer, it's not been resolved. Again, if you investigate that from the things that we know, he was the first person to announce that these guys are dead, even when investigation was ongoing. And if you go deep from what we know, from the family of a member of the 5 engineers, who was not satisfied with the way the issue was being handled, decided to invite a private investigator. And the private investigator was doing well. He was able to track and do some triangulation, and they were able to find discussions between a certain person, aka Small, now late, who had called a family member to say that one of them, they had an accident and they should pay 50,000 and you will do X, Y, Z, and so on and so forth. And then that same person who made a call to a member of the family of one of the deceased, also the phone log showed that there was a discussion between him and an aide of Umahi, who is now in Aso Rock as a special advisor. So you can make out whatever you think from that. This is in the public domain. And we know that Umahi had an issue as a governor with the Nilan engineers because they were standing on propriety. They were engaged by African Development Bank, because they wanted the project to be well supervised and done. Meanwhile, Umahi wanted to hijack that project and have it done by himself. And those people were saying, for propriety's sake, no. We're supposed to be the middleman between African Development Bank and the Ebonyi State government. And we are paid, and it's just to ensure that we supervise this project. And I think it was a ring road project, supervise this project to ensure that it's properly done. So there was an issue. And then there were threats here and there, and eventually, what happened. I am saying this as a background to show that it's only in Nigeria this kind of a thing will happen and it will be swept under the carpet. Now, if you have someone who is constantly being associated with dirty things like this, those he has owed, there was a woman who came sometime and said a couple of things, how he did jobs for this guy and Professor by experience, and she was not paid and he made a whole lot of noise, although she retracted it and then came back later on when she was shamed to say she's sorry, she was giving money, blah, blah, blah. And there's also a lady in America here, an engineer, who also has said something, and there's a man who is a schoolmate to this same Professor by experience. And they all have catalogs of things that they are saying about this same one person. Cut the long story short, he himself has said with his own mouth that is dangerous, that is now very dangerous. He's made a lot of money. He's there in public media. But I'm just saying that where we are here, if you have someone who is serving the public, an appointee of government, and is enmeshed in all these types of infamy, alleged infamy, pressure alone will force him to go to leave his job, or he would even resign, and then he will be prosecuted. There'll be investigation, So, but his conduct and the fact that the state, the institutions that are supposed to take proper action, the laxity, the kind of nonchalant attitude that we see here, gives the optics that there is something that is being hidden. And I don't think that is good for both the person we're talking about, for the state and for the person that is serving. So when you look at it and the horrid way this lady was buried and the circumstances and so on, you just feel sorry for Nigeria, because this has been going on and people make all kinds of statements and so on and so forth. And it just appears as if this is just a jungle where everything goes. But so we'll leave Umahi there. And I thought there was something else you mentioned that I'd like to comment on. Is it Osun or something? Did you talk about Osun?
Yes, it's talk about Osun.
Yes, the the Osun case is amazing, because what you hear now is a narrative that is being pushed out to suggest that, the president is a Democrat. The president didn't want interference in Osun. The president, has. But you ask, there are critical questions you have to ask, in answer to that question. And one of them is, if you look at, and I said it somewhere in another platform, if you look at the developments leading to the election, you would see that rigging started from there. What do I mean? Accounts were frozen of the state, of the local government. What is the intention? Cause an insurrection, make the governor look bad, perhaps cause a riot, strangulate the government so he will not be able to deliver. That didn't work. And you will think that this is a man who loves democracy, who had gone through that same type of, under Obasanjo, you had that kind of incident. So he's familiar with that kind of a thing, and he fought against it. And you will think that, he would never allow that kind of a thing to happen. Now, the president has said that, he didn't know, he was sleeping, or he was somewhere, he was away, he didn't know that someone's account was frozen, and then he instructed immediately. But if you look at that, was after there was a lot of outcry. People started, talking and speaking about how unfair that is. But in any case, it didn't strangulate the government. The government was still, doing what it will do. Cleared arrears of salaries, was paying salary, which Oyetola didn't do, which Arebeshola didn't do, because Arebeshola left a lot of arrears, unpaid salaries. People were not paid during his term. Now a man comes in and he's done this, and he's doing, in terms of rules and so on, the thing that he did. And so it's like a challenge on the APC system, particularly for the man who he defeated. He defeated, the former governor Oyetola, who is again, we hear, related to the president. So there are issues here. You see that before the election, I'm just trying to build up something to say, before the election itself, there have been attempts to emasculate and to rig the election through the actions of the government. Over 30 people or 45 people died even before the election. And when you get to the election proper, a lot more people died, and there were things that happened. Now, you had threats and intimidation. You have Father Wonsi, who came to say, don't vote for anybody who is, kill anybody from a court party, kill members of the family. You had the Faleke, who came from Kogi, and he was saying almost the same thing. You have, a certain guy called Wale okay, who also made some pronouncements. And the woman, if you remember, there was a woman who was, who said he had a gun and he was ready and he was saying all kinds of things and so on and so. Those were intimidating tactics to get people scared and not to come to vote. And then of course a day to the election, you had the chairman of Accord Party resign and defected to APC, urging Accord members to vote for the APC governorship candidate. And then lastly, APC also shot itself on the foot because in the primary process of electing who will be the governorship candidate, there was protest. Someone like Omishiri left. And we hear that during the election proper, he got his supporters, to support Adeleke. So those were some of the issues before the election, a priori, And then during the election proper, we saw all that happen. We saw massive rigging. We haven't seen the level of monetization in any off-season or any off-cycle election than we saw at Osun. We saw a massive influx of security agencies of all sorts, the military, the police, several commissioners of police. My count was 28, several APC governors, some say 17, some say 22, we don't know, some say 12, but we saw quite a number of them, plus their aides, plus their national working committee, NWC, they were there, led by the Senate president and so on. So you could see that there was a build-up. There was a determined effort to capture that state. So when you hear narrative like, oh no, it was negotiated, oh no, the president didn't want to do anything, this is a man who has said that he will wrestle the opposition to the ground. This is a man who has said that, all politics is fair. This is a man who had rebuked someone who came to see him to say, this country is not going the way it should, and including even the bishops who also went later. And he told them, I suffered so much to be where I am. You go and suffer your own, and so on and so forth. So when you look at the optics and you would see that it's difficult for anybody to convince any right thinking person that there was not a determined effort and sustained effort and investment to capture. Over 110 billion was spent in that Osun election. We haven't seen that spent on any off-season election in Nigeria. We haven't. Okay, so and then you saw hijacking of ballot boxes, but thank God to Osun people, they were determined, they were focused, they were ready to defend their votes. They arrested some people who were sharing money, arrested people who were carrying guns. They immobilized themselves, went to INEC, followed the ballot box from the unit to the ward, collating center and so on. I mean, they were, you must give it up to them. And then, of course, individuals who played roles, Davido, the Adeleke family, Adeleke Senior, and all that, so it was a sustained resistance against what they felt they didn't want. So, and they didn't look at the fact and the sentiment that the president is from there, let's give him the state and so on. No, it wasn't. It was a determination. But was the election free and fair? No, it wasn't free and fair. And then you look at what happened after the election, what is happening now. The attempt of the party to go to court, and definitely I know they're going to go to court. If it's free and fair, if you is negotiated, why would you want to go to court? Why was there an attempt to kill whoever, whether Davido or whether it was the governor? We don't know. And we hear right now that there's an attempt to attack even the local governments because certain people felt very, very bitter. In the day of the election proper, we saw the same man who said they should kill Accord members, kill their families. We saw him also almost repeating the same thing, threatening and intimidating people. And nothing has been done. You're wondering, where are the security agencies? Why would these things that ordinarily in other crimes would lead to immediate arrest and prosecution of these people? Because it's caught on tape. So it's not speculation. There's evidence. There are witnesses. So we're not speculating. Even though I grant that you are presumed innocent until proven guilty, but you have a prima facie case of someone who is, and even though he denied, he says, I said, oh, that's not what he meant, but there's a video of it, and he himself said they should record him. 70-year-old man, or more than 70. So the optics is not good. I don't think that's the way we'll proceed. But I think it's also, for me, what do we learn from that? It's the one thing that I can see clearly here, or two things. One, that if the people are determined and they're focused, they can resist whether you bring all the armored cars in this world and so on. Once the people are determined and focused, they can resist the onslaught of whoever comes with whatever ammunition and ammo to come and defeat them. That's a lesson for us in 2027. The other lesson that I see, from here, is all those ones that they say, oh, you have 32 governors, you can't be defeated, all the institutions have been muzzled and so on and so forth. So INEC couldn't do anything. There was a few hours delay, and nobody has been able to explain why that delay. Were they trying to see if they can tinker with something? Were they trying to? But of course, the technology, thank God for social media. The results were all already out everywhere. And, some foreign interests have also been activated. So people had eyes on Nigeria looking at Osun. Let's see what's going to happen. Whether that played a part, I don't know. But the point was that everybody knew what was happening and they're waiting for the game that they're going to play. So I think there's a lesson for us, and that anything can happen in 2027. And that people should not be intimidated. They should come out and vote, and that their vote will count. If they come out en masse, and vote and stay and follow their votes, I think that's one of the realities that we can see from the Osun election. And there are still many more things, but as we go on, we can talk on that.
And thank you so much. In fact, I had a question for you, but I think I've forgotten now. All right. Yes. So it's a lot.
KJ, please. KJ, please.
Go ahead.
When Tony was talking, something came to my mind. You see,
Go ahead.
because of what happened in Osun election, the figure he quoted. Do you know that by January next year, 2027 election, if the dollar is exchanging at $1 for about maybe 1,000 something,
1,350.
by next year, dollar may be exchanging for $1 to nothing less than 3,000 naira. Do you know why? What happened in Osun? Because when they say they are giving money, it is not money earned, it's money printed. By next year, they will print money in trillions. And in fact, when I saw that Osun's own, Osun was like, when you want to give bread to the public, you keep it in a table, people are seeing it, and as they queue, you give them one loaf at a time. So this was what I saw. Money packed like a brick on a table. So next year's own will be worse. And all they need is ink and paper. They print money by that time because of this one they are calling inflation. You find out that everybody is having this naira. What do you do with it? If you now want to buy a loaf of bread, they say this one at 10,000, this one at 15,000. A loaf of bread, because everybody is having this money. Money not backed up by in terms of earning, no production. So this is what they rely on next year. That if we give them 5,000, it doesn't do anything, or 10,000 or 20. It will now be a question of queue up 100,000. And you know how many trillion it will be. So Nigerian naira will lose value. They may cover it up, say they devalue naira. It's a lie. It's just because they printed X money, because everybody will have it. They just give it to you. In the end, Nigerian money will be pure worthless than what it is now. So that is one thing to look out for. Because the money they are going to give is not earned money. It's just that they say print this money and then we ship it to the public. Everybody after election, people are now having excess naira. When you go to the market, a tuber of yam may be 550,000. Yes, you can afford it because you have the money. That is not how to run an economy. If you want to cripple any economy, print their note and put it and bring it in. That's all. Then you cripple that economy. You can't control such inflation because it's not really backed up by production. And there's no way you can scale up your production to match the quantity of money in circulation. Go and know this thing. Thank you, KJ.
KJ,
Thank you
sorry.
so much.
KJ, if you allow me, there's something just what CM has said that I think is very, very relevant. You see, I said it also in some other platform. You see, there is something in that is called a gyrostat. It's a technology that has to do with shipping, with aircraft. It's a mechanical device that you have inbuilt in a ship, for instance, that helps it to navigate through turbulent waters to stay afloat. So it is it controls the orientation in the machine. So when you have it, it gives the ship the ability to be able to sail through. Okay. So in Nigeria, if you take that scenario and you apply it to the political situation in Nigeria, the Nigerian situation, the political situation in Nigeria is like a ship that has lost its gyrostat, so that it is now rudderless and it is now drifting aimlessly. And you know the consequence of that. That portends danger. Because if you look at the current government, you look at everything that they have done, you can only but conclude that this government has brought this country called Nigeria into political incumbents. It's a situation that if we don't take our destiny in our hands, come 2027, and speak with our voice, is unfortunate. And that's what CM is trying to tell us. That if we don't do something drastic, if we stay aloof and just listen to this their prognostication, this their cliche that he's controlling this number, all the states, all the institutions are captured, there's no need to vote. If you listen to that nonsense and just believe it and stay and don't exercise your franchise, you are automatically approving what we have now, the rots that you have now. But I say to you, if in your heart you were filling your tank with 5,000, and today with 100,000 your tank is not full, then you must stand and say, this has to stop. And you can do that with your vote. That's what I just wanted to ask.
Okay, thank you so much. Somebody put on the comment section, at least Olosho business, we've been worked that weekend very well in Osun State. Anyway, yes, let's round it, because now we have a policy that can't do beyond 3 hours. So as we begin to round up, I want to ask all of us to take 2 minutes. Tell us, Mr. Benson Emmanuel, what do you think that people of Osun, serious Nigerians want to make a difference? What do you think that they can learn from what happened in Osun State? Did you hear me?
I hear what you said. You see, my brother, well, people will try to see how they can change the what they call it, but nobody, one thing that's happening in Nigeria today, people don't ask questions. Like this Umahia thing, everybody keep quiet. The IRF stop uploading results in Osun. Nobody's asking question. Everybody's keeping mute. But they don't know the after effect of that thing. In the long run, it will still affect us. I want to advise Nigerians, so they should not be like Zimbabwe. Let them not pray to be like Zimbabwe. Today, many Zimbabweans are being killed in South Africa. But before, Zimbabwe was the food basket of the SADC region. Zimbabwe the food basket. Because Mugabe was losing the support. That's why I decided to bring that nonsense he was doing that time to collect the farms from the white people. Today, the white people are still in those farms. Today, the people who say he's going to give the farm, nothing. But that thing destroyed the economy of Zimbabwe. And today, when it destroyed the economy of Zimbabwe went to start moving to South Africa. And where are they today? Where the Zimbabweans, the economy has destroyed. And that is the same thing. We believe that we're educated, we feel that we're educated, we are this and that. That people that feel that they're educated are the ones destroying their country. What we are doing to ourselves is self-destruction. And again, the worst people that I blame for Nigerian problem is mostly those in abroad. If you see some people in abroad, the way they support nonsense in Nigeria, it's good for them to put fire on them and burn them. Somebody can come and tell you the Catholic headquarters is in the East, the Catholic is Obi, the Catholic is a man who is in abroad. Somebody who is in abroad can open up his dating mat and start saying something like that. Some people will come and tell you all politicians are the same. You ask them whether they are the same with other people. So a criminal is also if all the people are the same, then if all politicians are the same, then a criminal is also the same with a criminal. So it's advice. I'm advising Nigerians. So let them not be because of tribe, because of the hatred of these people. And these people that you people hate, wherever they go, they progress. These people you people say you hate, they want to go, but you don't want them to go. Because they're important to you. That's why I don't want them to go. If they're not important, why not allow them to go? You don't allow them to go because you are lazy. Because you are nothing to yourself. Because you're a criminal. You are very lazy. That's why I don't want that people to go. If I have a wife, and I believe that my wife is a bad person, and I don't want my wife to go, because there's something that my wife gives to me. That's why I don't want her to go. There is something, it's very important in the family. That's why I don't want her to go. But people come out, you talk nonsense, you criticize the same people. That people are industrious. Go to Aba, go to everywhere. Even go to Delta. Many of the things being developed in Delta is the same people. In River State, the same people. In every country, the same people. Even in Gabon, almost all the whole Africa, even outside the African nation. In Japan, when we are in Japan, Nigerians had most hard work in there. In Malaysia, you see everywhere. You see, so the same people you are criticizing and organizing all those, the same people are better than you 100 times. A country, the police are criminals. What they call it, the military is terrorist military. And I pray every day, let that military, let Boko Haram continue to deal with them. The way they deal with the Easterners, go to East to kill Easterners, go to Delta, go to many of these places to kill them. They don't kill them. They don't kill in Southwest. They don't kill in the North, which are bringing the Boko Haram. They don't kill them, but they go and kill innocent people in the Southeast and South. The Boko Haram and other forces got not to do that military. That is the terrorist military. That military is terrorist. The police is a terrorist police. The government is supporting nonsense. Those that will believe, the other day, show me more. So this former PDP spokesman, he was telling the Igbos that they don't know Igbos have good people. Look at Omari. Look at I was looking at this. I guess this is crazy. We should have good people who can rule. Not even Obi. They have Omari. They have what they call it. They have. He was even bringing those useless Igbos. Governor of Imo State, Soludo, former governor of Abia State. That's the people he was mentioning. The people that can rule Nigeria better than another person. The people that Igbos reject, Those people cannot win an election in Igbo state if there's in Igbo land. If they say let's have a good election, that's what the man is bringing that to us. The people that can rule, the people can rule Nigeria. You see, every time they start making their propaganda, now the propaganda ask again. They said if Obi, now they bring that propaganda again. If Obi wins, Obi will develop data. Obi will make data to have a good support, rivers to have a good support. So that means there's wickedness is in these people's mind. So it's very, very bad for data to have good running support. It's bad to Rivers State to have good running support. It's bad for Calabar to have good running support. If there's support in all these places will develop like Lagos, like other places. And the what they call it, the job this thing will reduce. But they don't want it they don't want those places to develop. They don't want the job this to decrease. They want the job this control to be high. And let everybody come to Lagos to control to suffer and die. And so all these propagandas, and the people, our brothers, are even buying these propagandas. You understand? So you see, like I said earlier, Nigeria problem, they know what to do, but they don't want to do it. And those that are supporting them, who say they're professors, who say that nonsense and nonsense, let them continue to do until we become worse than Zimbabwe. That's when they will know where they are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. But Mr. KJ, I sent you my number the other day. I read my number, but nobody called. My number.
Okay, put it on the private chat again for me, please.
I read it that day. I said no, but okay.
Put it again. Okay. Mr. CM, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I even want to have Benson Emmanuel. Later, we still need your number. There's something I wanted to discuss with you, but
yes, put it on a private.
Let me call you for you. You have a pen, yeah? We have to write it.
Yes, I do.
Let me wait. 240 476 0461.
Okay, and this is US.
Call it this is one of my number.
That's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony, Mr. CM, and Dr. KJ. God bless all of you.
God bless you too, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see that this discussion we're having today, those people didn't come they can't come in this kind of discussion. You see those people, they won't come. I know when they used to come. When they come to talk about their nonsense, they used to talk. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Those people that will not come.
Thank you.
Okay,
all right,
thank you.
Okay.
In my closing this thing, I think I forgot to say something about Dave Umahi's escapade and the lady that died. Well, the thing is, because Dave Umahi is being covered, but my take will be what the family that lost their daughter, what are they doing? Because in the end, it's a human being that died. It's not a cockroach or a rat. What are the family doing? Have they been paid money and they keep quiet, or for what for? That's one. Then Dave Umahi on his own. You see, sometimes when you put yourself out, I'm not that too biblical, but for those that are, many people know things, say I'm not a Christian. When you are attacking an innocent man like Peter Obi, every time, Peter has grace. Now look at the type of calamity that is befalling you. A minister and somebody came to your house to come and die. A single girl, a prostitute or something like that. And then you are covering up. Yes, you know the girl, he was this, he was that. All these things are just rubbish. The fact that somebody died is enough for you to step aside for independent investigation of what led to the death of somebody in your own house, and you are covering it. Is that not enough shame? Yet, we still have a government who will come out one day, and this is Dave Umahi challenging Peter Obi to a debate. It's a shame. But, oh yeah, at a time he says he's the lion of the, instead of him to say he's the lizard of the southeast, he says he's a lion. Now, Tony, why are you laughing? It's true now, because sometimes when you hear these people talk, when you hear these people talk, you just shake your head. Dave Umahi,
PM,
Yes.
he even insulted Igbo people by saying if there's anybody that is even qualified to contest for election from the southeast, it is him. It is him. Oh no,
Nah,
oh
with
no,
that shit, with that shit.
you see, you see,
oh
you
no.
see, you see, sometimes I said, I wish the likes of Sam Bakwa are still alive. I wish. Anyway, this type of, you see, this is what you get. Do you know this Dave Umahi, his travels, at least I can still read one on demand. Dave Umahi was a staunch PDP member doing his thing, quietly doing his abracadabra, you know. This, all of a sudden, when they want to dish Tinubu after when Buhari came to power, they say, hey, after all, El-Rufai came to Lagos to tell them that this is how to retire godfathers. El-Rufai came to Lagos, say how to retire godfathers. They've retired them up north. He was telling Ambode, all those people. So at a time, they now said, normally, the next president who will succeed Buhari should come from the southeast. Ngige say it, came to tell our people, hey, let's do fail and say when I was at St. John's College Yalo, because Ngige attended the secondary school, local school, he said when we are in class 5, they say pass and pass out, fail and fail out. Let us give Buhari 4 more years, pass and pass out. Here we go. Then it's naturally come down to us. Ngige was a minister. Dave Umahi, governor, and Ngige is in APC.
Okay.
The most vocal voice in APC. So Dave Umahi wanted a challenge. He crossed over anyway and started wearing danchiki and be going to Abuja. You know.
Please, I have only 9 minutes remaining, so you need to conclude.
Okay. Let me say this that I give you. So he was started. That was how his travel. So this Dave Umahi we are talking now. He crossed over to APC, talk one thing. Hey, I don't like wicked. This. Before you know, every day he's at Abuja. Say Buhari. Later he came back and said Buhari love me. He started wearing danchiki for no just cause, hoping that he said don't deal. These people, you know, we follow them. No, it's true. Stop everything. But Fulani we just come to Abakaliki. You see them in their midst dancing and wearing. I say this man don't they miss like Maggie they miss for soup. You know, no. Now look at where we are. Anyway, thank you, man. No chuff your Tony, continue.
Thank you so much.
He's a comedian.
Yes. Tony, your 2 minutes for your final word.
2 minutes more. Well, I think the ball is in the court of Nigerians. We have not seen, and this is my honest opinion. We have not seen this kind of level of profligacy, of corruption, of cronyism, of suffering, insurgency, than in any government than in this particular one that we have. I'm not saying that they have not. There are not 1 or 2 good things that they have done. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that if you look at all the indexes, for instance, we hear that inflation is going down in Nigeria, but we also hear that food prices are going up, and you're wondering what kind of economics is that? At least from my elementary economics, I know that this is incongruent. You can't understand that. How can inflation be going down and prices are going up? If you look at every metric today, and you look at the life of the common man, anybody who tells you that his life is better now, except a few who are exploiting, who are stealing and looting, generally speaking, if you look at the metrics, it is clear that this government has failed. So opposition has very cheap armor. They have cheap weapon to use to campaign, which unfortunately they are not doing. So, but it's up to Nigerians. Again, I emphasize that. If you think this government has done well, vote for them. But if you believe that this government has ruined your life, and in 3 years that they have caused so much disaster to this nation, and looking forward that you can't find any justification to vote for them to continue, Because second term is usually when the incumbent just relaxes and does anything that because he's not going to face any other vote. If you feel that way, you must speak, you must come out, you must take your vote, and just like Osun has demonstrated, you must do the same thing. Speak and speak loudly and guide your vote. That is my closing comment.
Thank you so much, Tony and CM. Thank you, guys. Unfortunately for us, we have a new timetable we're operating with now. The editors find it difficult once it's above 3 hours, so we're trying to keep everything within the 3 hours margin. And so I may not be able to accommodate any more person coming in. And then even I see people behind the stage, but I'm not going to bring them in because I can't do that. I just have to, fold up for now. But we'll be here. I mean, and I'm looking forward to some of the topic that CN have suggested. We want to look at the those topics and make it a single discussion for the 3 hours we'll be holding it. From now forward, once we start, we'll say this is our closing time. So we can't, accommodate once that time is here. So on that faithful note, I want to thank all of you, CM and Tony. You've been very good. You've all done very well. Thank you for all your suggestions. In fact, the reason for this program is for us to make inputs into the development. So if those who are policymakers are listening, look at what will make the country greater and great and the regions strong to want to unite. But if you keep looking at what being transactional, what can make you better, what will make you a better politician, what will make you continue to remain in power, that's not going to help anybody. On that faithful note, I will say that the people of Osun have made their choice, and now comes the bigger question, not just for the Osun people, but for Nigeria as a whole. And that question is, what does this choice they made in Osun mean to us going forward in the coming election? The Osun people stood. Is the government of Osun, the man who have been returned to power, going to stand for the people? Or are they going to be, abysmal, just like they did, in going to prostrate for Wike and going to prostrate for the president, even though the people of Osun have clearly said, we do not agree with these people? That is a big question for all of us in Nigeria. Will political victory translate into better schools, better and stronger health care? Will it translate to greater security for the Nigerian people? Will it translate to great jobs for the youth, teeming youth we have everywhere with talents, abundance of talents? Or shall we continue in the same way they've always run the business as usual? We have won. And so for the next 4 years, we're just going to cruise, enjoy ourselves, buy the latest Prado Jeeps, and Lexus Jeeps, Mercedes Maybach. That is the sign of politics, and that's the sign of development in Nigeria. The people traveling from, David Umai, your people have been stuck on the road for 3 days now between Benin and, Lagos. Nobody is going forward, nobody is going backwards. Is that the policy we'll be seeing going forward? And those people sitting in this traffic jam, are you going to return to the polls and vote again for these same people who can't even maintain a road that you can pass? Just maintain it. That's a question for all of us. Because at the end of the day, Nigerians don't live in the political manifesto. They live in communities. They go to markets. They send their children to school. They pay house rent. They buy fuel. They power their generators. They power their hair salons. How does politics translate to these ordinary, good Nigerians who are suffering the brunt of misgovernment since years that we cannot even think about? And how do the Nigerian people intend to go about the cohesion of the Nigerian nation as a whole? For 60 years now, we have been battling between understanding how to relate to one another. And nobody cares to call a spade, and then identify the elephant in the room. Are we going to also continue another 4 years dancing in limbo? The unfortunate part of it is that an ostrich, even though it's hiding his head on the ground, the whole of the boaters is outside. That's who we are. That's what Nigeria have become, whether we like it or not. Because certain individuals and countries will not be able to talk to Nigeria. And many of us will not have been outside the shores of Nigeria if our people had just had a little compassion for the citizens of Nigeria. Now, since they don't have compassion for us, you and I going to the pool should not also have compassion for a good governance and what belongs to you. You should take it back. Take it back. Do not shy to say we will take our country back because you are not doing what we have asked you to do. It does not matter which person you decide to vote. But if you decide to vote the same people who have kept you where you are, I can assure you that they are not going to change. But if you decide to make a change that will bring you prosperity, if you decide to make a change that will bring you progress, that will deal with security that is life have become meaningless in Nigeria. And that's what we have discussed. A young girl promising, no matter what kind of profession she's in, her life deserves to be interrogated. What took her life? It doesn't matter whose house she died in. The government of Nigeria, for crying out loud, should have asked this question. And I'm amazed at the Nigerian Bar Association. Everything goes. Nobody cares. In other nations where people are nationals, the Bar Association stands against bad judgment. They take them to court and insist on good governance. But Nigeria is sera. They just throw anything and they all keep quiet. In fact, the Nigerian Bar Association seem to be fighting on behalf of the government instead of the people of Nigeria. So sad. But that's how we're going to leave it. We'll meet all again next week with another, very interesting topic. And these gentlemen here have given their time and their talent. We just want to bless you. God bless you. And have a blessed week as you go to it.
KJ, please tell Benson Emmanuel, the number he gave is not WhatsApp enabled. So I can't reach him on with
okay, he has already signed out. But next week
I know he signed out. So if he's in touch with you, let him know. If he's listening, he should know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. And on that faithful note, I say thank you to all of you. And bye, Mr. Tony. Yes. And so is the show for today. On behalf of Dr. Rudolph and every member, everyone who has contributed to helping do this show, we'll have Mr. Show, who is always behind doing all kinds of wonderful work. We have our sister Ngozi somewhere in Nigeria also doing a lot of work. Mr. Ola, who is also doing his own bit. Mr. Chukuma, who is somehow, one way or the other, is a magic man here, putting everything together. And, one other two people, can't remember their name right now. Mr. Forefather. And every other host who have helped to be on this show, bring this show to us every time. We say thank you. Let us learn the lesson of Osun. What's the lesson of Osun? That's the word, my last word for you guys. The lesson of Osun is, if we are more, we will defeat any power. Go out, have a plan. Youths of Nigeria, this is your time. This is your time. We fought the Abacha government, and Abacha was no more. You can do the same. The military that was driven out of government was led by the youths of that time. You guys are the youths now. You have to make a way for yourself. If not, the same way they ate our own youths, they will eat your own youth. And before you know it, you are above 60. You are above 70. I'll be asking yourself, what happened? Let's not ask that question. The money they are borrowing, if you like clap, if you like refuse, it is you that will pay for it. As at the last count, right now, each and every Nigerian owe over 300,000 each person, and even the children yet unborn. We need to do something. It's time for good governance. If not for anything, let's start afresh. If not for anything, let's make sure Nigeria moves at the right path. On that faithful note, I say thank you so very much. And remember, this is my last word. Keep it in mind as you go on into the week.
By all means necessary, you must have electricity. And you will not pay for estimated bill anymore. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me.